All right, and we are live. Welcome to Profile Pod TV. I'm your host, Andy Anatomical. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, for another fun-filled episode of Profile Pod TV. We don't know what's going to happen tonight, but let me tell you what. I know we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. So yeah, man, welcome, wherever you're tuning in from. If you're in Cali, if you're on the East Coast, wherever, if you're in Antarctica, thank you so much for being here. We got something in store for you guys that we're going to try to set some records tonight, some Profile Pod TV records. We're going to try to break the record for most views on a Profile Pod TV episode. So right now the record belongs to none other than Rachel Loera of PenelopeRay'sBoutique.com. She has the most views, and tonight let's see what we can do. Coming in at a close second, my man Mega Man Podcast from last week of the Mega Man's Podcast. He's right behind her. I think he's at 186, about 16, 18 views right behind her. So we'll see what happens tonight after this episode. Nevertheless, that's secondary. The bottom line is we want to be here together, having fun, providing some awesome content, a good show for all of you guys. So once again, all of you who are here, welcome to Profile Pod TV. Just a couple of quick shout outs, man, because I want to get down to brass tacks, man. I want to bring on our guests. Well, actually, I'm going to be the guest tonight. It's kind of we're throwing things around. We're just kind of throwing a freaking. How should I say it, man? We're just mixing the pot tonight, man. Like if we got menudo, man. We got all kinds of stuff in the menudo. We got some tripas, some maíz, some limon, some cebolla, some, so we're mixing it all in, bro, and it's all gonna be delicious, But so I'm gonna be I'm gonna take a back seat on my own show tonight. We're trying something different, ladies and gentlemen. So my man's gonna host. And I'll introduce everybody in just a few minutes here, but I want to say a couple things about Profile Pod TV. I created this thing just to inspire, to motivate, to hopefully create another platform for others to come on and get exposure, get be seen, just to be seen, and hopefully I can get this thing to where I'm going to be helping others get exposure and getting their name out there, and whatever walk of life they are, whatever walk of life you're in. If you're a podcaster, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, if you're if you're in jiu-jitsu, if you're an actor, musician, filmmaker, any walk of life, what have you. If you're inspiring, if you're doing things that are if you're going out there following your dreams, going after your dreams, reaching your dreams, and that's the kind of guest we want here on this show. So let's get you on. DM me on Instagram at Profile Pod TV, and let's do it. Let's get you out there. Let's get your name out there. Let's get you some eyes, some eyeballs, or whatever it is that you're doing. So just wanted to always remind everybody of that. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to the Profile Pod TV here on YouTube. Support the cause, everybody. I'm doing the best I can to help you out in any way I can. So let's help each other out, and that's what it comes down to. That's what it boils down to. So big shout out to my man Diverse City out there, man. That guy's always being very supportive. He's always checking in on lives, and just a support, just a big heart, man. I could tell that guy is a very good-hearted man, and being very supportive, man. So big shout out to him. Also, Hazel Eyes out in Wasco. Can't wait to do something with that guy. Appreciate what he does, and he's very supportive, huge supporter of the show, and other people as well. I noticed that, man. That to me, that's just the greatest sign of selflessness. Somebody who's puts others first, or always goes out of their way to, commend others, and that's huge for me, man. So big shout out to you, Hazel Eyes, out there in Wasco. So yeah, you guys, I appreciate you two guys. Thank you for what you guys do. Diverse City, man. Go Lakers, go Dodgers. You can see right behind my shoulder, or this one. That's right, baby. I got my hat. I'm ready to go, bro. Big shout outs. So I see you guys are in the comment section. By the way, we're in the comment section. This is a interactive show. What's up, Fainer Lokes? Big shout out to Fainer Lokes, man. I've been seeing you around too, bro. Out of Cudahy or Maywood. My apologies, bro. One of those, right? I know you're in that area, bro. Cudahy or Maywood, bro. So big shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Again, this is the comment section. You guys feel free to ask a question, make comments. We'll try to get your comment or question on the screen on the show. We'll address the question and then we'll go from there, man. So let's have fun tonight, guys. Let's just make podcast history tonight, man. That's why we're here. So we decided to do something last night. The three of us said, let's just do it, man. Let's just go out, and we had a really, really good response from Mega Man's appearance on this show last week, and we said let's just carry the momentum over. Let's get Chris here, and let's just do something. Let's do another episode, man. So it's pretty simple, man. Pretty simple. So we got the comment section up. Everybody's ready to go. Let's go ahead and bring on the guest of the evening. I'm going to go ahead and bring them on at the same time. So if you guys are ready, please welcome Mega Man of the Mega Man's podcast and my man Chris of the Kickback Podcast LA. Welcome, gentlemen. What's up? What's up, guys?
Yo, what's up? I was drinking my beer right now. Sorry. I haven't had a beer all day today. So, after having some booty call sex with my lady after our date night, I needed a fucking beer.
You haven't had 10 beers? What'd you say? Oh, you said one.
Well, that was my fifth beer for today, because I've been drinking nothing but craft beers all today because I got to support my boy Chelas Mundao, Beer Thug Life, all those beers, and also this guy right here, Beer Zombie right here.
Nice.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, thank you guys for being here. I'm ready to make some podcast history. I don't know about you, Chris. What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? First off, I did not come on here for you to call us tripas here. So I heard that. I was like, what the fuck? Tripas?
Oh, bro. I know you're Peruvian, bro. I should have said right?
That shit's always fire. But
right?
Yep. I'm pumped to get this episode started, just because like you mentioned in your opening, you started this to get people to, just to bring light to and bring attention to other people that are putting in work in podcasting or, whatever they're doing. And when I did the episode with you, I had so much fun, and you're such a cool guy. And then obviously, Mega Man coming on the week after, I saw you guys had great chemistry as well. So when I saw that, I knew for a fact that Mega Man was going to have you on his podcast. I wanted you on my podcast. So when I thought, I was like, you know what? Let's just do this all together, all at once.
Hell yeah.
Because it's going to just be a lot more fun if all of us are together doing the episode, and we don't have to repeat our stories or repeat, each other's questions. We can all get it out here right on this show. So I'm excited to do it, and I'm glad that you guys were up for it.
Yeah, bro. And this was your idea during the show last week. You mentioned it while we were live, bro. And here we are, man.
Yeah, I'm just I'm stoked because, like I said, what Chris said, you got to have chemistry when you do other people's podcasts. And like I was telling you, Andy, on the last episode with me and Chris, we have this good chemistry. Like, we just feed off each other, and we know what to say, what not to say. We know we don't over talk, and I let him speak, he lets me speak, and we have a good chemistry. It's almost like he's my podcast brother, as the same as you are, Andy.
Hey, no, I appreciate that, bro. No, hey, you know what? It's I can't agree with you more, bro. I feel super comfortable with you guys. The chemistry's there, man. We hit it off, and here we are, man, making podcast history right here on Profile Pod TV. We're gonna get to some more sex stories by Mega Man. No,
hey, I'm ready for all that. Yeah, I'm ready for all that. But I let my lady know, like, hey, I'm gonna go on, If I talk about some shit, you can't give me shit the next day. You can't cock block me, and you can't just say, "Oh yeah, you ain't gonna get this bunani for a week." Like, no, I'm gonna get that motherfucking shit.
Well, like you said last week, bro, the kids be cock blocking, man. Shit, I can't believe
someone was cock blocking. I did a live with Julio Trejo from Chelos Mundao. And the episode came out so fucking good, but for some reason, someone reported my episode and took it down, and I lost the episode, and I was like, man. And just by looking at it, I lost the episode, but at the same time, I noticed that I had over close to almost 100 people who saw the episode. But Julio Trejo is making good fucking beers, and with his partner is Daniel from Hip Hop Crash Show, and I know Chris had him on, and Edgar from Beer Duck Life, But haters are gonna be haters. If you're gonna have haters, you're doing something fucking good,
Yeah, absolutely, man. And yeah, it's a shame because I was watching that live, man. That was fire, man. That guy's good, man. Shout out to Julio Trejo. He's a very interesting guy.
You got to get him on. You got to get him on your podcast.
Oh man, it would be an honor. Are you kidding me? That would be that would be an honor any time, man. Of course. But yeah, man, what the hell's going on, bro? Like, why is Instagram hating on you? I mean, it's not like, what did you say? I mean, are you giving away secret nuclear secrets or what, bro? I don't know, man.
We'll talk about Burukatura later on. I don't know.
Oh god, here we go.
Oh shit.
I don't know.
Get ready. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
all right, so I just wanted to say.
Chris.
So I wanted to just kind of kick it off, just because like I said, you talk about how you want to profile people. I think this is the best and perfect time for Mega Man and myself to profile you. Obviously, we're not going to be super structured. We're going to have some fun tonight, and we're going to be loose, and we're going to have some laughs. But I do want to be able to give you the opportunity for people to see who you are and to see what you've been doing and to see what you created here on YouTube and with the Instagram and Profile Pod and all the people that you've been helping out along the way. So I feel like the best way to kick off this episode is just to simply ask you, how long you've been doing it, when did you start? How did you get started? Did someone inspire you to get this thing started? How did this come about?
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah, man. I appreciate it, Chris. And it's funny, bro. Oh man, I'm tripping out right now. But no, I started podcasting January of 2019, man, on my phone on Anchor, just doing on the freaking cell phone, man. I did the editing, I did the show, I did everything, literally on the phone. And I've always had a fascination for performing, man. The whole, any form of entertainment. I've done some acting in the past. Shout out to Matt TV. By the way, I was a Jose Canseco lookalike. That's my 15 minutes of fame. And you can see that episode on YouTube under Matt TV steroids. Anyways, so yeah, bro. So I did some acting. I did a bunch of different shows. I met Martin Sheen. I worked on a show with Jimmy Smits. What was that show back where he played the president? I forget what show that was.
West Wing?
Was it West Wing? West Wing,
yeah.
And then did How I Met Your Mother.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was background, but I was on the sets, bro. It was super fun. I was on a show with a movie with Matthew McConaughey. It's called Surfer Dude. I don't know if you guys heard of that show.
Yes.
Yes. It was a very low key movie. It didn't get too big, but that was a cool set, man. We were in Malibu in some big ass mansion, and anyway, so I did my little. I've always, like I said, man, I've always liked being in front of the stage and in the front of the camera and what have you, and so I kind of decided to go. I went a different route, I went a different career route, because I had a family, I had kids, and so I didn't want to be that struggling actor and all that. But anyways, man, so I kind of went forward, got into other industries, other careers, made other moves. But I always wanted to get back into it somehow. So how is that? What's the quickest way? What's the most accessible way? Podcasting. So I made that choice to start podcasting. This will get my way in to to maybe see what happens. Because I don't want to live with regrets, man. I'd rather say at least I tried rather than I wish I had. So I decided to get into podcasting and see where it would take me. All of last year, 2019, bro, I was just learning, just honing my craft. It was a solo episode, literally, writing the whole script, man, and just reading off the script, trying to make it sound like as much as I could that I wasn't reading. And then I started bringing on guests. And then, the last 6 months of last year really kind of got more comfortable. And then fast forward to January of this year, started doing continued doing the 90s galore thing. And then I started feeling like, man, okay, I want to kind of do something else. I want to kind of, what else? So I started brainstorming, bro. And then it was just in my heart, man. I wanted to create another platform. My cousin was doing something on YouTube, on StreamYard, and he put me onto the game. He put me on Game Here. Right when the COVID hit, that's when I said, you know what, I'm going to do this now. So I started this Profile Pod, to put others on a pedestal, bring them, put them on under the limelight, and shed light on them, what they're doing, just completely showcase them, their skills, what they're doing, and those who are inspiring and all that. So here we are, bro. 5 months later, and I'm sitting with Mega Man and Chris from Kickback Podcast, and with a solid audience here, and having the time of my life, man. So that's kind of how it happened, man. In a nutshell.
That's awesome, dude, and I like that you found your niche. You having all this background of you acting at the same time. You doing a podcast to stay relevant, and I listened to some of your episodes. I liked it. I like what you're about. You're very original. And that's one thing about podcasts. You always have to be new, and you always have to stay original, because it's really hard in the podcast game because you don't want to repeat the same old stuff. People want new stuff, because I remember Bethel Durant from Living the Dreams. He told me, Mega Man, you got to hit him hard. Like, what do you mean by that? You got to hit them the first 5 or 10 minutes to keep them interact, so they can keep on listening. And, people are going to listen to your podcast maybe an average about 15 to maybe 30 minutes, but you got to have it good from beginning, middle, and end,
Absolutely, bro. No, I'm just a sponge right now, Mega Man. I'm just a sponge, learning, absorbing information, watching you guys do your thing, watching other podcasters. I'm not too humble to, I'm not too proud to say, I know it all or whatever. No. I never stop learning, never stop getting better, refining yourself, honing your craft.
Yeah. And every day. Yeah. And every day, like with me, I don't know everything about podcasts. I'm learning something new every day on the podcast. And it's not about ego. It's not about this. Learn something new, but at the same time, as long as you're staying consistent, as long as you're putting content out, as long as you're working on your weaknesses and your strong points, as long as if you're making the people happy and shed light on a lot of things, you're fucking doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, kind of just to touch on when you're mentioning, like, a few months later, and we're all just kind of in this same podcast doing this right now. It's crazy because all three of us have had a different route, a different way of. I love how Mega Man's just like, give me a beer.
That's my son right there. That's my son right there. Give me a beer.
Like, I'm gonna chuck the beer at you.
Give me one too.
But like I was saying, like, it's crazy just to see like how Mega Man has had his own route to get here. You have your own route. I had my own route. And some way, somehow, it's just crazy to see how things kind of just mesh together and we end up in this situation where I want to say it was maybe 3 maybe about 3 months ago. I don't know if it was through Instagram or what. I'm pretty sure it was through Instagram, but I remember following your page, or you followed my page, Andy, and I checked out your page and I was like, oh man, this is like a cool thing, and looked at the YouTube, saw some episodes, saw that you do live episodes, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's something I've been wanting to do. So, you know, the next live, I was, you know, watching your thing, kind of like scouting it out, like, all right, like, my initial thing was like, how in the hell is he doing all this? This is awesome. Like the whole StreamYard thing, I was like, this is cool. You know, putting in, you know, chiming in on the comments. I was like, man, I need to pick this guy's brain. Like, I need to figure something out. So, you know, you got to do that when you're podcasting. You got to slide into other people's DMs and, you know, figure out some stuff. Like just the other week, I hit up some random podcaster and asked, like, hey, how do you get your guests? I saw the guests that you have. I like them. How do you do it? And, you know, he ran through, you know, a little bit of how I did it. Never talked to the guy, never met the guy. But that's what's cool about it, is that you get to communicate with all these random people. You know, some could be dicks, some can be cool, some can just be, you know, standoffish and not reply, or like, who the fuck are you?
Right.
But luckily, you know, the people that we have met, like you, Mega Man, you know, all these other people that we've, you know, had on each other's podcasts, they're cool enough and to share each other's little secrets or share each other's little things to, you know, kind of grow little by little. So I think that's what's pretty cool about this whole, even just this whole episode in general.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, and every podcast, like if it's Andy, Chris, or me, everyone's different of how they do the podcast and how they schedule their guests or DM and all that stuff. And I remember when Chris was talking about, like, man, there's times where I just DM a whole bunch of random celebrity guests, and if one says yes, oh, okay, cool. But that's the thing you have to do. Like, you got to DM a whole bunch of celebrity guests. If you want to do the Mega Man's podcast, you know, a lot of the times you're going to say no. But if you get that 1 or 2 or 3 people that say yes, fuck it.
And it feels so good when they say yes. You're like, fuck yeah. You want to, like,
hell yeah.
You want to say, like, fuck you to everybody else who said no already.
Yeah, I know.
But, you know, for the most part, I've noticed about the podcasting community, from what I've seen so far, bro. For the most part, it's a real cool. Most people are cool, man. Most people are humble and willing to share and help you out. You know, I think there's, you know, I haven't encountered anybody too fucked up, you know, or negative, or. But yeah, Chris, you're right, man. There's people in other facets, you know, of life that are, you know, can be standoffish or whatever, man, and don't respond to you. At least give a response, right? You know, just have the decency to do that. But whatever, man. But you know, ultimately, I think the cool people are going to gravitate to each other, man. Like here, you know, us three, and then everybody here watching. There's some cool people, good people out there, man, watching right now.
Damn, your live chats are you're already at right now. You're at 20 people like chatting right now. They're on live right now.
Yeah, bro, it's amazing, man. Everybody's fucking cool as hell, man. You know, you can name off all the people here. All of those people are super good people, man. And you know, we don't have one asshole in here, right? So,
shit. Well, I'm sorry to say, we got Gilbert Gonzalez, Deadmau5 on there. He put underrated.
That's your brother, Deadmau5?
That's my brother.
Oh man, what's up, Gilbert?
That's the guy that I originally started the Kickback with until I kicked him out.
Hey, Chris, I was gonna tell you, I was on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook because that's for old timers, but they said, like, people you know, and I saw your Facebook because it's like, is that Chris? And I saw you in your graduation picture, like, bro, you look fucking skinny, bro.
Oh, that was once upon a time, Mega Man. Once upon a time, I was an athlete, believe it or not.
Damn, that was like, dude, you look like that's not Chris.
Hey, if you do your research, there's some news clippings that you'll find of me playing baseball.
Montebello High, right?
Upon a time, yeah, Montebello.
Oilers, baby.
I'm gonna do my research on that because I was like, that's Chris right there. It's like, Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing a throwback, like a throwback Thursday of Jesse, because we all played baseball together. So I was like, how perfect is it to find a picture of all of us in high school? Like, Jay when he had hair, Jesse, when he was like super, super tiny, skinny, and then obviously myself. So yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be awesome if you had Jay to see him with hair, because I always try to picture. Because remember that one time I did your podcast and I looked at him and it's like, oh, like you don't have hair, like oh, like the way if you were Andy, if you were there when we did the Kickback Podcast with him, I was looking at Jay like, what happened to your hair? It's like, and Jay was super hilarious, but I kind of felt bad because like, what happened to your hair? Were you stressed out or this or? I didn't know. I just like, oh, I felt bad. I'd be like, oh, it's like you don't have to feel sorry for me making that. It's okay.
Oh yeah, he's gone through it all, but yeah, he's hilarious. But I was gonna ask you before we kind of jump off of that topic, like when you did your acting, like how did that come about? Like what were you like? I'm gonna be like the next Marlon Brando. I'm gonna be like the next, or like how did just acting come about? And then how did you try to get your foot in? Like, what did you do to try and get those auditions or try to get those little parts?
Casting couch. No, I'm playing. No, female directors and producers. No, bro. Yeah,
and he's like some guy, like it was a Weinstein.
No guys, bro. Let's make that clear, bro. No. Yeah, no, bro. Like I said, bro, since I was a kid, man, I've always enjoyed, acting and the arts and when I used to go to Universal Studios, bro, I used to be fascinated, bro, with all that. So, I always wanted to try it out. I always wanted to do it. I did a little bit. I took a couple classes in college. I did some independent stuff. Yeah, just deciding to do it, just because it was in my heart and like I always wanted to try it out. And then in fast forward to like the summer of 2005, bro, that whole summer, man, I was just doing all kinds of stuff. I got really into like I was just doing background stuff, and then I got that Mad TV gig. But and then from there, I was doing it just kind of sporadically. Something would come up, and like an independent film for called The Last Resort. I made it to Netflix some years back. Anyways, but
Andy IMDb got the Netflix one. There it is. I like it.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got my little IMDb profile, bro, and so yeah, that's pretty much how it came about, man. Just doing it, man. Just deciding, to take action, bro. Get out of my comfort zone and say, screw it. I'm gonna fucking do this. And sure enough, man, I landed some gigs, bro. But it was short lived, because again, it's a different type of job where you got to make some serious sacrifices, and I wasn't in the position to do that. I wasn't, young enough anymore, or whatever, man. Whatever excuse I can give now, going forward, like I said, I want to, do it, jump into it now, rather than say, fuck, I wish I should have done it, man. I don't want to look back in my life and do that. I just don't want to do that. So gotta give it a shot.
I think it's awesome that what you're doing, Andy, because you used to be an actor. At the same time, you're doing podcasts. So, with podcasters or people who want to get into the acting, you know the biz.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. It's being on the set, just going through those the protocols and being on a set, and it's awesome, man. Those are great experiences, man. I remember on that Surfer Dude, I got a cool little story, Matthew McConaughey's story. We were having lunch, staff cast and crew. We're all having lunch at a big ass table, long tables and what have you. Everybody was there just eating, bro, and the food is just so delicious, by the way. Mm-hmm. And so I was sitting across from McConaughey. Was like two people across from me, mm-hmm. And the guy across from me started kind of choking, like, oh shit! All of a sudden, and he was a big dude, big Mexican dude, man, and everybody kind of like stood back, like, and he's he's choking, dude, and we're like, oh shit! Everybody kind of stands up. And here comes McConaughey. He starts giving him some whacks in the back of his. Didn't do the Heimlich. He just starts whacking his back, man.
Shit out of him.
Whacked it hard, fucking hard. Boom, boom, bam. He's like, come on, bro, come on. He's cheering him on, and finally, he dislodges the fucking piece of steak or whatever it was. And everybody starts applauding, but McConaughey jumped in there, bro, and saved the day, man.
What did he do right at the end? He was like, all right.
all right. No,
exactly.
No, the reason why I say that because I had two people. One person wants me to be an extra in a movie, and the other one wants me to act. It's like I never took acting skills. I don't know what's up. I was like,
Mega Man, you better do that shit because I would have loved to see you in a fucking.
Hey, imagine being that fucking extra in that fucking movie Tax Collector, like shooting the fucking gun or being a cartel. Like, I don't know.
Love to just see past fucking Mega Man right there.
He's like him in the cartel as a cartel member or something.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll probably be shot like this. I don't know because. Like I guess in a way, when you get more well known, it's like when people ask you to be an extra, or people ask you like, "Hey, you want to do a line or two?" It's like I never took acting. I don't know what to do, but hey, you know what? I'll do whatever I can. If you throw me in there, I don't know because Andy, you know the acting and the whole world and all that stuff. I don't know about that shit.
Yeah, but you know what, Mega Man is? I think it's you basically, like you said, man, you would do your best. You would put yourself out there, because I think you got to have a certain level of confidence, right? And when you have a certain level of confidence, you feel like you can do anything, bro. And that's where I'm at. I've come a long way, man. I used to be shy and bashful, kind of timid when I was in high school, and always kind of just a shy guy, man. And then so I've grown into my, I've learned how to I've basically developed my confidence through experience, through life experience, through adversity, through all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
And now I feel like, man, I can do anything, bro. I have that. You got to have that mindset, bro. Especially if you're going to get into something like this, podcasting, acting, or performing, right? I mean, you got to have a certain level of confidence, man, in yourself. You got to be able to believe in yourself, or else, because if you don't have that, bro, you're gonna just fall off right away. You're gonna fall off.
Oh yeah. Hey Chris, I was gonna ask you, have you always been a talkative person all your life?
Believe it or not, no. When I was in school, I would sit in the back of the class, wouldn't say anything. Maybe I would chime in here and there, but in my head, I would be having the time of my life because of people would say stupid shit, and I would make fun of them in my head. And I'm like, man, if I would ever say that, it'd be so funny. And then even like playing sports, I was always considered like, one of the leaders or captains, but I was always one of those quiet captains. I wasn't one of those guys that was going to like freaking rile up the team and pump everybody up and get everybody all excited. But I was more of the guy that would go up to you on the bench, sit down next to you and, talk to you one-on-one. I would do that a lot with, Jay or Jesse. Like I was always that guy where I would go to you one-on-one, talk to you instead of, trying to be the hoorah guy and get everybody riled up. And then when I started hanging out and with Jesse and Jay and everybody, my group of friends, I ended up just saying, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to say the shit that's always in my head. And then I've realized like, oh man, everyone's like laughing, every single person's like, oh man, like when someone's laughing at your joke or laughing at something you say, you feel amazing.
Yeah.
So after a while, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to be myself, which is someone who freaking jokes about everything or tries to find the humor in everything. And luckily for myself, like I have people who message me like, hey man, like I heard your podcast. I didn't know that you were like that funny, or I didn't know that you talked that much, or I didn't know that's how you felt or thought about like, yeah, man, I feel like that's why I'm podcasting now. Cause like finally I'm like out of my shell and I could just blurt everything out and get everything.
Yeah. I like Chris' story because when he went to Cerrito College and he got thrown into the radio scene and with him and Tugboat, and knowing more about Tugboat more, because I know he's a little off the wall, but I love it.
I was just in Vegas with Tugboat this past weekend too.
Motherfucker, you know, like fucking.
Oh fuck!
Hey, and you were telling me, and Chris was like, "Hey, I'm alive."
Yeah,
dude, how was Vegas, bro?
So yeah, I just finished wrapping up doing the kickback with the guys, and we were talking about it, just how there was a lot of fucking people there.
Oh yeah, bro. I don't doubt it.
Really?
I was there in July. Late July, and nobody. It was dead. The strip was dead. I could probably fucking run up the strip like if I wanted to, and no car would hit me. Yeah,
wow.
Naked. No one would hit me. I wouldn't run across it. It was empty. And then fast forward to this weekend. Obviously, you know, it's a long weekend. You know, fast forward to this weekend, and I go, holy shit! It was like regular Vegas again. There was so many fucking people. It was ridiculous.
Did they have those partitions up on the gambling tables, like boards and shit?
What's crazy is that the only one that I didn't see it at was Caesar's Palace.
Damn.
So everywhere else, there's the glass or thing in between each person gambling on the table, and they only let 3 people at a table or on a table at a time. Before it's like they cram everybody in on the table. Now it's only 3 people. And
fucking Romans.
Yeah, when I went to Caesar's, I was like, "Whoa, there's no fucking glass. There's usually like a glass in front of the dealer." Glass here, like you're just boxed in.
I'm telling you, those fucking Romans, bro.
That's how they save money, man.
Damn. You know what? I haven't been to Vegas since I was at the age of 22, but sometimes in a way, I know people could be like, "What the fuck, Mega Man?" I get scared to go to Vegas because I feel like if I go to Vegas, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that drunk motherfucker that goes to Vegas and be like sit down in the fucking wheelchair.
Oh shit! Wait, did you say you haven't been there in 18 years?
Yeah, I haven't been there because like I get intimidated.
You're kidding me.
I know, I'm serious. I get intimidated by certain things. I feel like if I go to Vegas, I'm gonna be shit-faced drunk like the first hour because you could walk on the streets and drink beers. What the fuck?
The goose is loose right there. If Mega Man goes.
If I go over there, and there's people who are telling me back in the day, hey, Mega Man, you need to go to Beer Zombies party, what they have with all these breweries. I was like, fuck no. If I go over there, I'll be shit-faced drunk at the first 15 fucking minutes.
Andy, what kind of Vegas person are you? Because there's the Vegas people who are like, I'm there to gamble, I'm there to try to win some money, I'm there to try and steal Vegas's money or whatever. And then there's people who are there to party, go to clubs or drink. Then there's people who are like, hey, this is Vegas, anything goes. That's when they start doing coke for the first time. That's when they start doing drugs.
No.
I've met some guys where it's like, hey, I'm in Vegas, and I see them doing fucking lines or I'm like, whoa.
No. Mega Man's like super different. All I want to do is like go to the all you can eat.
Shit.
Go to the gambling tables, all you can eat. Go to the beer breweries and just like get fucking drunk and just get fucking beveled.
Yeah, bro. No, I take my Bible. No.
And I raise it up and I read scripture to everyone.
No, I'm kidding, bro. You know what? Cristobal has a good idea, bro. He said we should go out there and make a show, do a show out there, man.
I've always been a huge advocate of doing a freaking podcast trip to Vegas where
we are all
doing each other's podcasts, that's doing like just cross promoting. Then just to top it off, we're in Vegas already. Just go fucking party and drink and.
Dude, that's a great fucking idea, man. That's
yeah.
Wow, I love it. Let's brainstorm, bro. Shit.
Yeah, but Andy, you gotta sleep with Mega Man though.
What's that?
Andy, you gotta sleep with Mega Man though.
Hey, but you asked. No, do you know what? I like going to Vegas for the performances. They got some good shows out there, bro. Like comedians and performers, musicians. But I don't gamble much, bro. And so I don't do strip clubs. anymore.
Now, fuck the strip clubs. Like, you know what? I'll be honest. Like gambling. I'm not too much of a gambler because there was a time where I spent $25 and I won like $4,000. It's like, no, you know what? Let's keep on going. And that $4,000 turned out to be $300. So I lost everything. With the strippers, fuck all that shit. I have my lady, dude. She could be my fucking stripper.
No, I know for sure, man. Yeah. Exactly. Good point, Mega Man. I'm not huge into that, but no, Vegas is cool, man. It's a quick getaway for us right here. It's 3 hours away, you know. And
not this weekend.
Oh, fuck! I heard.
We left at 4:00. We didn't check in till 11.
Damn.
Oh, fuck.
That's why I love flying to Vegas. Fuck driving.
So wait. So you left at 4 p.m. and got there at 11 p.m.
Exactly.
Dude.
What the fuck?
Jesus
it was a bitch.
Christ.
What
was a bitch.
So what do you mean? Like you left at 4 p.m., but why did you get there at 11 p.m.?
Because fucking everybody was in Vegas. Like I told you, it was jam-packed.
Labor Day, man. Labor Day weekend. And shit.
It was a bitch to get on a table, find a table to be on, like to gamble. Like it was a bitch, man. Like there was a lot of fucking people. Like it was like I was tripping out because I was just like, man, like I need to wear my mask. I need to like put hands. And then after a couple of drinks, I'm just like, fuck it.
And were people were wearing masks or for the most part saying fuck it also, you know?
No, for the most part, well, for me, I say fuck it, but I still wore it. Like I was still in the back of my head. I was like, oh fuck. But for the most part, everyone was wearing a mask, and especially when you're walking in a casino, I have to give them credit. When you're in a casino and they see that your mask is down, a dealer will stop dealing the cards. Fucking guy cleaning the floor will stop cleaning. Like everyone there is to tell you, put your fucking mask on.
Shut up.
So I give all the casinos credit because literally, like in the middle of a hand, I was playing 21 or blackjack. In the middle of my hand, I got an ace, and this lady's like fucking telling a guy to put his mask on. I was like, come on, lady, like give me my card. Fuck that guy.
Damn. Every time I think about Vegas, I think about the movie with Vince Vaughn, Swingers.
Oh, Swingers. Oh, shit.
Okay. You think that far has to be one of the top 5 best independent cult movies of all time?
The Swingers,
it's good.
Shit. It's up there, bro. It's yeah, top 10 at least for sure.
Because I always have a thing where when you look at the movie with Swingers, I always want to go to the places where they have been. Like if it's like that restaurant, that breakfast restaurant under that motel, and or like the restaurant where they've been to with that old guy and that lady doing that karaoke. That has to be one of the best movies. I have to say one of the best cult movies of all time.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely, bro. I agree, man. Yeah, they that place in Hollywood. They went to a couple spots. The Derby, which I don't think is it. I wonder if it's still there. Anybody know if it's still there out there in the audience? The Derby in Hollywood, and there was another place. I think it was called The Room. Mm-hmm. In Hollywood also. Yeah. And I've actually been to that spot. That was cool, man, going in there because you can see where they filmed it, and you can tell it was right there. But the Derby's a good spot, man. I've been to that spot.
Hey, I'm looking at the comments right now. People are saying like the best movie of all time was fucking Blood and Palau. Yeah. We get it. Cheap times. This is for cheap times.
For cheap times, man. Oh, poor Montana, man. They did him wrong, bro. That was fucked up. I remember the first time I saw that. That was fucked up, bro.
I'm trying to get. I'm in talks with them. I'll say it right now. I'm in talks with trying to get Benjamin Pratt on the Mega Man's podcast because I know he lives in Frisco.
No shit,
dude. That's gonna do. If I can get him on, dude, it'll be so awesome because. He lives in Frisco. I know he married his wife, who was an actress from that movie Mortal Kombat, and she played in some other movies. But having Benjamin Pratt on, dude, that'd be awesome, man.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? Dude, Mega Man, I know you had some really great guests on your show. Who's the most quote unquote famous guest you've ever had on your show?
Oh, dude, I don't. It really depends who, because everyone's doing big times, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I have to say right now, the one
I'll take myself off. I'll take myself off.
Besides Chris.
Chris is. I like Chris because we have the good format. So Chris will be like the best podcast interview I ever had on the Mega Man's podcast for a podcaster. But for a guest, I have to say Tony A. the Wizard, because he blew up and now he has a podcast called Warning Radio Podcast, which he is fucking popping, and he has over close to, I think he just reached over 5 million views already.
Mm-hmm.
No shit.
5 million views on Warning Radio, because he's bringing a lot of Chicano guests on the Warning Radio Podcast. And at the time, I remember he was like, Mega Man, I don't know what. I'm going to try to get into the podcast game. I don't know how I'm going to do, but you know what? Fuck it. If it works, it works. If it not, it not. And look what happened. Radio, how it is, it just fucking blew up. And I emailed Tony A. the Wizard to hopefully be one of the first podcasters to come on the Running Radio. So
wow,
we'll see what happens. But I know next week I will be on America Cholo's podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, on Saturday, right?
Next Saturday, yeah.
Next week or this coming Saturday? 4 days.
Next week.
Oh, next week. Oh, okay. I thought okay. Yeah, man. I was checking him out too. He's awesome, man. That's a great show.
Yeah, I feel like with that American Cholos podcast, Mega Man has to be in the A game, because I know those guys and they're going to be probably going to throw a lot of fire at me. So you got to be on your A game, because they're not fucking stupid. They'll tell you straight out, and they're very, very, very blunt, like how I am.
Oh, no shit. Yeah, that's going to be fun, man. That's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but everybody's saying you should get Mario Lopez, Jennifer Lopez, George Lopez. All the Lopez people, bro. All the Lopez.
Get all the lows.
Yeah.
A-Rod, yeah. But if you get J-Lo, you got to get A-Rod, right?
That's true.
Oh, who? A-Rod, Mr. Herpes?
Oh, I don't know about all that. But
shut up, Chris. You know, he was giving all the girls the baskets, and like, hey, after he hooked up with girls.
That was Derek Jeter.
Oh, yes.
You know about that story, right, Andy? With Derek Jeter?
Which one? Again, I'm sorry.
So pretty much Derek Jeter is a big playboy, dude. He obviously played for the Yankees, was shortstop for 20 years for the Yankees. Turns out this
never heard of him.
Turns out this guy was a big ladies man, and he would get all these models, all these actresses, Jessica Alba, all these freaking stunning women to come up to his apartment or his loft and, you know, do the deed. And every morning he would leave, like to practice or to the flight or to the game, whatever, but he would leave them a basket. And in the basket was baseballs, cards, a jersey, all signed by Derek Jeter, with a car waiting for them, you know, right in the lobby. So it turned out like that was his thing. Like that was his thing. Whenever he would have a lady over,
how sweet,
she would wake up with the Derek Jeter basket.
Wow, no shit, I never heard that, bro.
Yeah, so and then obviously people will, you know, bring up like, you know, this girl got herpes, and she brings up like, oh, Derek Jeter gave it to me and all this other stuff. But yeah, so Derek Jeter was the biggest playboy with those gift baskets. Mega Man, you should start doing that if you were to ever be single again. You should have done that. You should have done that when you were single.
Give girls baskets.
Yeah, you could be like, here's my, you know, stickers. Here's my Mega Man T-shirt.
I can't be doing that, dude. No. I can't.
Mega Man merch, bro.
No,
buttons
man.
And everything.
No, man. I don't know, but I would have been like, peace, motherfucker. Like, I'm out. You know, like. You know, because if I give a girl a basket like that, that means it's like there's still hope for the Mega Man's podcast. Like, oh, there's still hope after Mega Man fuck me, I'll still be on.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I don't want to fucking do that, you know. But Yeah. Oh shit! I think we just lost Andy right now, but it's all good.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's okay.
No,
we'll hold the fort down. We'll hold it down until he comes back.
No. Like I can't be doing that stuff. I know. I got a lot of shit from my lady. She's like, Mega Man. She's like, Steven, stop being a fucking Susio. Stop talking about your fucking Susio fucking stories and shit. Like, dude, but they're stories, right? People want to know.
Oh, definitely. So, going back to Vegas really quick. The last time you went, you said you were 22?
22.
Dude. How? Well, okay, when you were 20, what did you do when you were there?
No, I went with my family. I went with my mom and my stepdad. I mean, my dad and my stepmom, and I went with my family and stuff like that. So I didn't do shit. We stayed at Excalibur. We saw the scene. We walked the strip. We went to Circus. But yeah, but if I was gonna go there now, like by myself, single, it would have been game over.
Mega Man just moved to Vegas.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
he would have fell in love with a stripper, moved to Vegas, podcast there.
Yeah, it would have been part 2 of fucking T-Pain on Sprung. How'd you get me? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think in a way, like sometimes with Vegas, it's like whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I heard so many stories, but I think
you're telling me.
I think now, if I was to go to Vegas, Chris, I would be the first one to go to any of the breweries out there and also check out the White Castle and go to Beer Zombies and just check all that stuff out and everything. But I'm not really a gambling person. I would be more like, hey, I would spend all my money on food and fucking all you can eat and fucking craft beers.
Hey, don't talk about Andy like that, man. This is a show.
Fuck, bro. Sorry about that, man. I didn't pay my light bill and shit. Apparently,
this is the second time in 2 weeks.
You know what it is? It's this light drains my fucking the laptop battery. I just figured it out right now, bro. So
no worries.
I got to plug it into an alternate electrical source.
That's all right. We just sat here in silence to wait.
Nah. Hey, no. I know Mega Man when it happened last week. Mega Man, so beautifully filled in right there,
dude.
Man.
You know when that happened, I was watching, and the link that you send, does that work for everybody for like forever? That's like the same link, or it's a different link every time?
No, it produces a different link.
So
each episode.
When I saw that, I was like, I was so tempted to go like check the link that you gave me last week or the week before, and I was like, I'll jump on really quick. Like I didn't want to. I was like, oh, Mega Man's just sitting there, and then he filled in perfectly, so that was good. I feel like that's like the perfect guest. Like when you know something goes wrong, you can trust them or him or her to just take over. Because if it was the reverse, if it was the other way around, I would hope like you're just not sitting there fucking just in silence saying, oh well, we'll wait.
Exactly.
While this shit's live.
Mega Man did, he took care of me on that, man. That was nice, man.
Yeah, because like when you're like silent, and we're like, oh shit, okay, whatever. Hey, what's everyone doing? What's up? You got to keep the conversation going.
It literally turned into the Mega Man After Dark.
I was gonna be like, I hope someone flashed their titties.
Yeah.
To top it off, we were in the middle of an ass-eating story by Mega Man.
Dude, I'll tell you one thing, man. I'll never eat a girl's ass out ever again.
That's disgusting.
I mean, why? Okay. Let's be frank. Why do all the guys want to eat out ass if you do it at the same time? It's gonna taste like shit.
Okay, but there's guys out there who like their ass being eaten.
Yeah.
I had that one time. I had my ass eaten out by a girl, and she was like, "Damn, did you wipe your ass?" No, but at the same time, you said you want to eat my ass, but you were telling me not to wipe my ass, so I did it. So you got what you got. So
wait, you didn't? You knew she was gonna eat your ass ahead of time.
She told me.
And you refused to wipe your ass?
Okay, this happened. This happened in my 20s. She's like, Mega Man,
explain yourself.
Do not wipe your ass. This is why. It's like I want to eat that ass, but it's like fucking when it's like fucking raunchy and dirty. It's like, are you serious? It's like why?
You walked around with chocolate ass all day. just so she could eat your ass.
No, I didn't have chocolate, but I had a sweaty ass because it's like I was.
Mega Man was like, I got a rash and shit.
Dude, I had a 15. I was working 15 hours. I had 15 hours of working day. I was a sweaty ass, but I know my ass didn't have chocolate stains or whatever.
Are you sure? You don't know. You should have let one rip during work. You never know.
I don't know, but she's like, dude, I like a sweaty ass. I like it when it's fucking musky.
Oh, man. Let me ask you this. Were you on, just out of curiosity, I'm asking for a friend. Were you on all fours?
I was thinking the same thing.
Were you on your back? Or?
I'm the friend that he was asking for.
No,
because the visual of Mega Man on his hands and knees.
I'm just curious, Mega Man.
Dude, I was on the bed. I was being like, you know, when a girl does a doggy style, you lean your butt back, but at the same time, she was eating my ass out and shit, and lick my balls at the same time.
What was your I feel like my brain would go like an overload. I'd be like, I don't know what's going on right now.
At the same time, she was eating my ass and licking my balls. She's like, I want to make out with you. Like, fuck you. You go in the bathroom right now and you go brush your teeth and do fucking mouthwash.
Mouthwash. Throw a shower. I might as well shower after that.
Yeah, it was like, dude, it's just like, oh, this tastes good. It's like, are you fucking serious? My ass tastes good after I worked a fucking 15-hour day with sweaty fucking ass cheeks and balls.
Oh my God.
How long did she go? How long did she eat it for?
About 20 minutes.
That's a full meal right there.
That's what I'm saying. There's girls like that.
So for 20 minutes, you were just on your hands and knees?
No, I was just laying down right here with my ass out like that, like, you know, like a fucking gay dude, like, you know, with my ass out. Get my ass out, and she was eating my ass out. But
God!
But she's like, I like it musky. It's like, goddamn, chill out, girl.
Damn. So did you do what the girls do? Like, you know, when they're taking it from the back, did you like look back and be like?
I don't know what, but when she was eating my ass. But when she started licking my balls, it started tickling.
Did you give her that sexy look back, Mega Man? like Chris just said. Hey, Chris, you look like you've done that before, bro.
No,
I think I hurt my neck.
No, but I turned back. I was like, dude, this tickle. Are we gonna fuck or what? You know, because I was getting tired of all the foreplay. It's like I wanted to fuck.
You were tired of your ass being eaten.
I do, but at the same time, I get my ass eaten. But I'm not gonna fucking make out with her after she's licking my asshole. Fuck that.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I can't argue with there, man. I can't argue there, bro. But it's all, man. If you know what, if both people take a shower before, then I think it's all good, bro.
Yeah, Andy. And now I know why your power went out last time when he was talking about this story.
Oh.
And Andy pulled the plug on his own show, so he doesn't have to hear the rest of that story.
Oh no, that's a great story, bro. Are you kidding me?
Oh jeez.
That's how we're getting views. Shit, with that fucking story, bro.
Man,
yeah.
I was thinking about because we were still talking a little bit about Vegas. We were talking about the last time Mega Man was in Vegas. He was just with his family, really, when he was 22. When was the last time you've been to Vegas, Andy?
Oh man, I went. You know what? I just went this year, bro. In February, right before all the shit went down. There was already talk. You know, all this shit was kind of starting to kind of escalate. You know, all the COVID stuff. But I was there in February of this year, bro. Had a great fucking time too. We went with the family. So you know, nothing crazy was going on, but still had a great time, man. And you know, a lot of people were just chilling out, and you know, it was just typical Vegas, man. You know, it was nothing extraordinary. It was just Vegas being Vegas, and but yeah, right this year, bro, was the last time, and
I was talking about this on the Kickback today when this past weekend. I was walking back to my room, and I'm walking back to the room, and we were like in the corner, and it was it's like a timeshare, so it wasn't like a big old hotel where you got to go up. It was all spread out where you can walk around. So we're walking back to the room, or I'm walking back to the room, and there's these bushes in the back where, you know, they're just there. So as I'm walking, I look over and I see a head in the bush. And I was like, what the fuck is that? So as I'm walking past that bush, I look in and it's a fucking person. Like it's a full, I was like, oh my God. My fucking heart started racing. It started pounding. I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I thought he was taking his shit at first. I was gonna like, turns out he was looking into someone else's room. And I was like, oh man, it's a fucking peeping Tom.
He was looking at someone's window?
Yeah, looking in, but in each room there's like a little patio. So if you jump over that little fence that they have there, you can slide that door open and you can walk right in.
Damn.
So I was like, oh shit, man. Like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's problem is. So I start walking like faster to my room. And my bitch move, start walking a little faster to the room and like go up the stairs. And I was like, fuck, I need to call the front desk about this shit. So I get to my phone. And I guess I didn't realize that I was walking like pretty fast, that I called the front desk. And as I called, I was like huffing and puffing. So when the lady was like, hello, it's front desk, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm tired. And I was like, oh man,
cheers.
There's a guy out there. And I was like tripping the fuck out. And sure enough, like they ended up pulling that guy out. But that was like the first time I ever saw freaking a guy just like trying. I don't know if he was trying to go into the room or what is he doing, but it was pretty trippy.
Yeah, that's some creepy shit, bro.
I didn't have my rape whistle or anything. I was scared.
Right. You didn't have your mace and shit?
Yeah, I was like, fuck.
I thought you were going to say, yeah, so I joined him and we were looking.
I should have just like creeped up behind him, like, what are we looking at?
Imagine.
Oh, dude.
That would have been good. He didn't see you there, though?
No, because he was like dead focused looking into that room. Yeah, so who knows, man? I was like, fuck all that.
Dude, it might have been a hot chick. Yeah, bro. It would have been a hot. What if it was a hot chick, bro? You missed out, man.
Damn, I would have been like, scoot over,
titties and shit.
Scoot over, man. Like, fuck.
Damn,
I'm staying at this hotel. Shit.
And imagine if like you're in a room and someone's creeping up on you, and it's a girl creeping up and watching you, and she's like masturbating. That would be awesome.
Well, yeah. If it's ever the roles are reversed, it's amazing.
Then it's okay.
Whenever the roles reversed, it's fucking beautiful.
You ever had? I'll tell you a story. Shouts to Nicole from Arizona. You know who you are, girl. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shouts to Nicole from Arizona. You know who you are, girl. When I started the Mega Man's podcast, this girl was so. I think she got married or she's with the guy now, but at the time, she was like a super nympho freak from Arizona, and she was like always telling me, "Mega Man, I want to fuck you" and all that stuff. And I remember she tagged me on a story on the Mega Man's podcast. And she was completely fully naked. At the same time, you can hear my podcast on a screen TV on the living room, hearing the Mega Man's podcast, and she's like flashing her titties. She lays down, she's masturbating with her fucking dildo, and she says, "I'm thinking about you, Mega Man, for the Mega Man's podcast."
Sounds like a kick-ass promo to me. That's what I think.
Yeah, I wanted to repost it. At the same time, I know that shit would be taken down.
Oh man, that's a great idea, Chris. God damn, you're full of great ideas, Chris.
I would have been like, this is how the Mega Man podcast makes you feel, ladies.
I'm telling you, you never know what you get at Mega Man After Dark. I remember some girl was flashing her titties. Some girl was masturbating on her dildo. Some girl was flashing her butt cheeks and everything. Like I said, you never know what you're going to get on the Mega Man After Dark. But now that my lady watches it, she tells me, hey, man, you can't be putting that shit, dude. Come on, calm down. You know you're with me. You know you have a lady, but what the fuck are you flirting with fucking girls? Or what the fuck are you having girls flash their titties for you? How do you do it?
Hey, does your girl call you Mega Man?
You know what? She calls me Steven, but she gets irritated because sometimes in a way she still calls me Mega Man. She's like, fuck, I have to call you Steven because I know you as Steven, but not as Mega Man. But it's yeah, she gets kind of irritated if she calls me Mega Man. It's like, fuck, I hate that name. I know you as Steven, but everyone calls you as Mega Man. But yeah, I don't know. Not
gonna lie. I think it took me about a year to figure out your real name.
I know. Yeah, I remember that because a lot of people don't know. Like, my name is Steve Martinez, but I guess in a way, the name Mega Man, it just fits for me because when you think of the name, oh yeah, I know Mega Man. Like, it's catchy.
It's just natural, right? It's second nature. You just say, "Oh yeah, Mega Man." Hey, how long have you had that nickname?
I had that nickname for about maybe since I was the age of 7, 8 years old.
Really?
Did you give yourself that nickname?
No, one of my cousins, he passed away because the whole story was, Chris, I don't know if you know about this, but I think I talked about it on my cousin's podcast. When I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I remember when Nintendo was still big back in the day, he was the first one to have a Nintendo in the whole block. And I remember he rented games from like Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, Mega Man. He had the Mega Man Part 2. And I think I was like 9 or 10 years old. And he invited me over because I didn't have a Nintendo back then. So he's like, hey, you should try this game out. He called me. I went over there to his house, my cousin, and he let me play with it for about 30, 40 minutes because everyone had a time limit because there's so much people in the neighborhood who wanted to play Nintendo because he was the only one in the block. So we had a limit. We had a limit of about 30 to 40 minutes. It's like, okay, your time's up.
Fuck that. I'm charging people.
I know, right?
So that's where I felt he said, hey, how about this game called Mega Man? So when I started playing Mega Man 2, I fell in love with it, and I remember I beat the hardest villain was Quickman, and I was playing all these games, and I fell in love with it, and it's like, you know what, I'm gonna call you Mega Man. And so shout outs to my boy, my cousin Steven Gomez. He passed away years ago, and he gave me that name Mega Man. So ever since then, everyone knows me as Mega Man.
Well, shout out to Steven. I'm sure that's a crazy story, man. And I was going to say, going off nicknames, how did you come up with Andy Anatomical?
Yeah, shit, dude. I just thought it sounded fucking cool. I just honestly, I just started. I was just thinking of what can I do? What name could I give myself? What could I use? I just felt like it just rolled off the tongue, and
it does.
Yeah, I just thought it sounded cool, bro. And it's actually an anthropological term. Anatomical modern human.
That was too many syllables in that. That was too many letters there.
Anatomically modern human is what we all are, right? We're AMH, anthropological, anthropologically speaking. Anyway, so I took it. I just said, yeah, fuck.
I thought I was on social primates right now.
Hey, Chris, Eddie's on right now on social primates.
I know.
Right now.
Shout out to Eddie. I know he would have loved that.
That's right. So shout out to social primate, man. Oh man, that's funny, bro. Fucking Chris. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how I got it, bro. I'm sure he appreciates that social primate, right? You like that? He knows what's all about that nickname, anatomical, that term.
Yeah. I've never had a nickname growing up. I've never had anyone really like. I was never like Chris is so like a regular name where it's like you can't really come up with any like short abbreviation to it or like any weird. Like I remember my friend tried to give me a nickname, and it was the most silliest thing where it was like, "I'm gonna call you X." I was like, "What?" It's like, why the fuck are you gonna call me X? And
Chris X.
He was like, because of Christmas. They say Xmas. You're X. You're the X in Xmas.
Oh, I got it.
Oh God! And I was like, so he tried to make it stick, and I was like, no.
So
and sure enough,
you weren't Muslim or anything?
No.
No,
sure enough, like he would, like I would meet some of his friends, and he would introduce me as X, and I was like, oh God, here we go. And sure enough, till one point, I remember I was at a Big Five, and I was buying a ball pump or something like that because I needed it, and I'm in line, and all I hear is X, and I was like, they're not talking to me, like no way. I'm like, X, is that you? And I was like, fuck.
Oh my God.
Ass. And I turned around, sure enough, it's like one of his friends. I was like, fucking A. But I'm glad it didn't stick.
Oh, bro. it was one of those things where it started annoying you and shit whenever he would say it.
Yeah, well, it used to. Now it's just like because I know now it's not gonna stick. So I know it's like it's just you. It's just the one guy. But yeah.
How long ago was that, bro?
That was about maybe not even maybe a year ago.
No
not
shit.
Yeah.
I can't see you as X, bro.
Nah, doesn't work.
Oh man, that's funny, bro. That's funny. Yeah, I never had any nicknames growing up. You know, just maybe dumb. My dad would call me dumbass or pendejo or you know, idiota.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was some of my family members and some of my relatives. They used to call me Stuttering Steven. Okay, I used to stutter a lot.
No shit.
I think I would have been that dick or asshole to call you that.
Oh,
if I was like but like if
X.
I was like a cousin or family, like I would have been like, yeah.
Fucking X. I mean, sorry. It's fucking rubbing off on me, bro.
And he's like, it's starting to sound pretty good now.
Yeah.
It might stick, bro.
I hope not. I hope not. But I was gonna say, kind of just to jump back on, profiling you again. So doing the podcast, I'm curious, like what got you interested in it? Like, was it other podcasts that you would listen to, or did you just think like, oh, that podcast is a thing right now, or are there any podcasts that you do listen to right now? Like, how did that come about?
Well, no, like there was like obviously Joe Rogan was big, right? He's been big for a few years now, and but podcasting was the most accessible thing I had to getting into the world of performing or entertainment, because I'm not going to just go try to be an actor all of a sudden, right now. I could, but probably wouldn't be the best choice financially. But so I said, how am I going to get into that world, quickly? And podcasting, I did some research. I was like, well, I had a friend that was doing some podcasting. I had another cousin, so I kind of had an idea, and then I looked into it. I said, okay, let me see what does it entail to get into it. What steps do I need to take? So I did some research. My friend told me about Anchor, bro, and again, it's a one-stop shop, man. You could just do everything on that, and so I figured that's my way in. To getting into the world, and that's it, bro. Bottom line,
Well, what are some podcasts that you listen to right now? Or if any?
The Kickback Podcast, LA. No, I like Valuetainment with Patrick Bet David. That guy's good. Obviously, Joe Rogan. What was the other one? The Wolf of Wall Street. The Wolf's Den. Oh,
that guy is good.
Yeah, that's a good one, bro.
That guy's good.
That's a good one. Yeah. And General Public Podcast with Bam Bam. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one. He's pretty big now. He's getting bigger. And and I dabble around, man. I check in the Dangerous World Podcast. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one.
No.
They do a lot of conspiracy stuff and
nice.
all that. I used to listen to the other the Higher Side Chats. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one.
No.
Are you into conspiracies and all that?
Me, yeah, I like all that shit, bro.
Nice.
I love conspiracies. I know I was telling you earlier on the other episode, like with tinfoil hats with Sam Tripoli.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good because he says a lot of things, but I like crime stories for some reason.
Oh, dude, that's like one of the most popular topics, right? In podcasting, crime stories, unsolved mysteries, and all that stuff, man.
Did you watch it on Netflix? The re-amp of Unsolved Mysteries?
No, I do. Those shows creep me out, bro.
That shit is fucking good.
I know.
Yeah.
They used to come on in was it late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah. That was creepy. I don't want to watch that shit because I have Roku and they have that. It's like, fuck that. I'm not watching it because it's fucking scary. And I don't want to have fucking bad dreams.
Shit. Dude, I know, bro. I can't watch some of that shit, bro. It's like, god damn, man. Like,
I don't know. For some reason, that song in the intro, the song is creepy as fuck. I don't even want to hear that shit either.
Yeah. You remember another show that just came to mind? America's Most Wanted. Remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that because he wanted to do that show because I remember his son was kidnapped and the killer found him and they found the body and his son was decapitated. They found his head.
Jesus!
Oh my god!
It was creepy as fuck. I remember that, and they found him. It's like I guess they found the killer. It's like that guy's son is right there. I buried it. They found it, and when they found the burial, they found the head first, and after that, they found the rest of the body.
Jeez, yeah, that's exactly, bro.
So this show is filled with just fucked up stories like that.
Yeah, missing persons, unsolved cases.
Hey, do you remember that show called Current Affairs?
Yeah, Current Affair.
Do you remember that one time where there was a guy, I guess in a way, his daughter was raped by his stepdad because he was living with the mother, and so on live TV, the mother of that dying daughter goes to the funeral in the cemetery, and they're doing an interview, and the guy shoots his wife in the head or whatever, and it was on Telemundo. It was like, what the fuck?
No,
you heard about that?
I don't recall that one, bro.
Fuck no.
Dude,
wait, so this guy killed his ex-wife live on TV?
Yes, live on TV. So go to YouTube and put like Telemundo, Current Affairs, live shooting. The wife was like trying to shed light or trying to send flowers in the funeral of the daughter, but finding out that the husband, who was a Cuban, find out that his daughter was getting raped by the mother's step-husband, and he saw that she was going to be there. It was on live interview, and the guy shot her in the head about 3 or 4 times. It was like, and the guy only served about prison time about 10 years, and he got away with it.
Wow. You can see it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I'll send you the link. I'll send you everything. It was like, what the fuck? This is like when I was like 13, 14 years old. This is like, and they also showed this on Faces of Death.
I would assume the reason why he only got 10 years is because he probably just used the defense of, he was just in rage or an act of rage or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fucking
A, man. That's insane.
Yeah, bro. That's why it's hard watching some of those shows, bro, because it's like, trippy ass shit, creepy shit, scary shit, I remember when I was a kid, bro, we came back from Mexico from a trip, and my mom was talking to our next door neighbor, and she was having a conversation. I was eavesdropping on their conversation, and she's like, she's telling us all kinds of shit that had happened while we were gone, She was telling my mom, and she was like, yeah, I heard some screaming last week. I don't know what's going on around here. Then the other day, Mike, the neighbor, heard someone trying to push the door open, trying to jam the door open. And I was like 9, bro. So I'm thinking, I was just fucking scared out of my mind, bro, hearing this shit. And then I think shortly thereafter, the Night Stalker stuff happened, bro. So I fucking traumatized me for life, bro. All that shit, like in a short period of time, all this shit was happening, bro. And here I am, like 9 years old, just fucking scared shit. Fucking
fuck that, dude. There's still times where I'm like that, where I'm like laying in bed, and I'm like, did I lock the door? I'm like, I locked it. And then I'm like, and then I'm like, I think I locked it. I'm like, fuck, bro. Let me get up and check if I locked it. Like,
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I always get like that too when there's sometimes where I work overnights and my kids are alone because my job, I'm like maybe like 15, 19 minutes away, but I always check up on them because where I live at in the hood of Long Beach, there's been a lot of poor people who are living over like in the back alleys where I'm at, but at the same time they're overdosing, and there's people who I can really account to this. About 9 people died overdosing on drugs where I live, and sometimes in a way when I pick up my son would tell me, "Hey, Dad, there's a guy passed out," knowing the fact he doesn't know that they're overdosed or they're dead.
Damn. No shit.
Yeah, so I look at them. I have to call the cops and let them know, and the paramedics come. This person overdosed, and yeah, there's one time alone. No lie, this is true. We found 3 dead bodies on the side of our
Jesus.
apartment because all 3 of them overdosed on some kind of drug, and it was like because we had the reason why because we live upstairs. We had the window open to air out all the fumes because I like to clean my house and everything. We smelled a stench. It was really bad. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, a stench is really bad. So we went downstairs. Me, my son Gavin, and Alexander. We went downstairs. We looked on the side in the corner. We saw 3 dead bodies, and there was flies all around it. And we had to call the cops and say, "Hey, what's wrong?" And we let them know. I think that they overdosed because all 3 of them, they still had syringes stuck in their arms still.
Wow. So they were wow.
Yeah. So they all overdosed on whatever drug that they got over here in I don't know where in Long Beach, but they overdosed on the side of our apartment.
So what you're saying is The Walking Dead over there.
Yeah. There's zombies right there. There's zombies, and that's one of the reasons why we had to tell our landlord, you have to close our garage door because there's an alley where a lot of homeless people do drugs and get clothes or whatever.
Oh yeah, bro.
And they go right past through, and that's where a lot of home invasions happen. So because of that, I have to have cameras. I have to have. I even bought a gun. Just you never know what's gonna happen. So.
Yeah, bro.
And that's one of the reasons why, like I was telling my lady, we got to move out of Long Beach because it's getting too packed with a lot of homeless people.
Yeah. No, that's fucked up. You reminded me of that scene in Boys in the Hood, man. Y'all want to see a dead body? Remember that?
Yes.
They're in the alley by the railroad tracks and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, imagine being fucking 8 years old, bro. Seeing a dead shit.
Yeah, that's insane. I was gonna ask you because this is a question I've asked Mega Man before, and that is, you do a podcast. Obviously, you host it yourself, and you do it on your own. Have you ever thought of having a co-host?
Yeah, fuck, that's a good question, bro. Because honestly, I don't. I've kind of kicked the idea around, but never really nothing serious. But yeah, that would be fun, man. That would be fun. Obviously, when you have guests, every week, in a way, no, I don't want to say they're co-hosting, but it's definitely a different dynamic when you're going solo, right? Obviously, and when you're bringing someone on as a guest, right? I think co-hosting would be cool. I just haven't found, I haven't clicked up with anybody. I'm just going, going down the road, bro, on the journey, and seeing what happens. But yeah, no, it hasn't happened yet, bro. I'm not saying that I'm opposed to it, but I'm open to it. Yeah, for sure, man. If it comes down to if something like that, someone approaches me or what have you, yeah, man, I'll consider that, man. Because I know there's 3 of you on you plus 2, right, on your show, Jesse and Jay.
Yeah,
and you guys, like, again, man, that's a good chemistry, and you got to have it's got to be a good fit too, right? When you have other, so as far as the Kickback Podcast, Chris, when you guys came together, and you mentioned this, how you guys kind of came together, but Jesse and Jay were the only ones that stepped up and said, yeah, you said, hey, let's do a podcast, and they stepped up and said, yeah, let's do it. Did you know right away that you were gonna have some good chemistry, or it was just a trial and error type of thing?
Yeah, they were
into it.
They were on a tightrope. All right, I was gonna cut them after 2 episodes. Things didn't work out.
You auditioned them and shit.
Yeah, no. It was more of just when we hang out, when we were quote unquote kicking back, and just hanging out. The amount of laughs that we had, and the amount of just things that we would talk about, or when Jay and I would, chill, and which is now our studio, I guess, and we would just be in here, smoking some weed or eating an edible and just dying laughing for the whole night. In the back of my head, I was like, man, I fucking wish they could be doing the podcast with me. Like this, like I need people to hear this. People are gonna love this as much as I love hanging out with Jesse and Jay and all the guys. Everyone else would love it too. So I knew from the get-go that they would that they were gonna be the guys to do it. And I've told Mega Man this. I'm very strategic because when I did the Hot Corner, which was all sports, I would have Jesse come on. And he would, talk about sports and talk about boxing and all that stuff and baseball. And then, I would have Jay on and he would talk about football. And he kind of, I'm kind of easing their way into it. And then when the idea came of like, hey, would you guys ever want to do one like for legit? Like we're doing it every week, and they were the ones that stepped up because they were the ones that were, had that little tiny, guest experience with me. And now I could step away and they could handle it no problem. But for sure, I knew without a doubt when we started hanging out more and just hanging out, talking and laughing, I knew for sure that I needed people to hear what the fuck I was hearing, because it was gold. It was hilarious.
Yeah, man. No, I've heard your show, bro. It's definitely funny, bro. How old is your podcast now, bro?
This is our first full year. So we're about a year and a month or so.
Really?
With Jesse and Jay, yeah.
Wow, man. And you guys have grown pretty fast.
Yeah, and that's just because of I don't know if I don't want to say boost myself up or anything,
because
but
it's because of you. Because it's because of me.
Someone's got to say, I was just gonna say, like, just being able. It was just more of this us being so close together and having that chemistry that just made it. I feel like it made it easier for people to listen to early on, because early on when people tune into a young or 1 or 2 episodes of a podcast, there's a lot of trial and error that a podcaster has to go through for the first few episodes, the first 20 episodes, the first 30 episodes. And for me, I didn't want that. Like when people listen to our podcast, I didn't want to lose that listener. I wanted them to be like, fuck yeah, dude, I can't wait for that next episode.
Exactly.
So I knew for a fact, like, episode 1, this is what we're going to talk about because I know people are going to die laughing. Episode 2, this is what we're talking about because I know people are going to die laughing. So it was more of that, and it was more of just like knowing, let me get Jay and Jesse in front of a mic and let us all just start talking, and I know people will respond to it and enjoy it.
Oh, man. No doubt, bro. Yeah, because, it's like you said, man, it's trial and error and shit, and just getting down the right chemistry, the right balance. And you guys know what you're gonna say already, man. You guys you play off each other. You guys, it's just like a well-oiled machine by now, right?
Oh yeah, because dude, there's times where I don't know, you might not notice it, you might, but there's moments where I'll set them up for a story because I already know the story. I know the story, and I know it's funny, but we haven't said it on the podcast yet. So I'll set them up so that way they can bring it up. Or I'll bring up a topic that is close enough to that story and they bring it up. Or they do that, and now they're kind of doing the same thing for me, where it's like, oh, I know where you're going. I know where you're going with this. And they have that little look in their eye like, okay, I know what we're about to talk about right now. And that's I think that's the fun part now after doing it for a year, where now it's like, oh, like it gets me so excited because it's like, oh, you guys caught up now. Like you guys know what we're doing. Like we're rolling. Like this is just easy now. Like I don't have to worry.
I think in a way with Chris, it's like when you have Jay and Jesse on, because they have to be seasoned and they have to be in the format how Chris is, which is really good. And that's the thing with the Mega Man's podcast, and that's the thing with Kickback, and that's the thing with you. You got to be on your format of what to say and what to not to say, and we have to keep the people on their toes of whatever we say on the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, definitely. And there's always those stories in my that we have. Like, there's been some scenarios where we've talked between us three, and it's like, yeah, we're not talking about that story, or we can't talk about that. Don't bring.
Come on, Chris, you have to put those episodes out because I like that shit.
But like I told you, everything is strategic. So I guarantee you, once this YouTube page comes open, those stories are going to come out, and they're going to be stories that no one's ever heard. These are going to be stories that we have, where it's like, hey, this happened, and we're never speaking about this ever again.
Because I know that you started the YouTube channel and everything. Because I know you put my episode and Buddha and some other podcasts. I was like, oh shit, I have to start promoting, because I forgot that you promoted ourselves, and it's out on YouTube so everyone can hear.
Yeah, right now it is. Like I told you before, I think I might, strip it down and then kind of put it back up once October 5th hits, when we open up. Mm-hmm. And kind of just go from there, so that way people have a collection of stuff to look at, or new people that are there. So I might take it off just so that way I can re-put it, or I'm just kind of messing with the ideas, but I'm excited. I'm excited for that next step or chapter.
That's awesome. I love that.
When's the first? You said October 5th?
October 5th is when the Kickback is going to be on YouTube, and on YouTube, you're going to be able to see the Kickback podcast. You're going to be able to see the Hot Corner with Joseph and myself. And then you're going to be able to see the third episode, or the third show that we do, which is more interview based, which is more of just me interviewing someone else. And I'm thinking of, and Mega Man, you've been on it. I'll probably get you on it too, Andy. Yeah. There was never a name to it. I always call it the Kickback IGTV, thing. Yeah. But I might just switch it up and kind of add that kickback to it, and just call it Kicking Back with Chris or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I can't wait to see that, bro.
So yeah, there'll be 3 shows on our YouTube page October 5th.
I like it when you invited me on your podcast. I like it when it's you, Jay, and Jesse. Where when I was in the middle, and I know you had Gilbert on the side, but having all you random people asking me questions, it's kind of good. And I want to see how your format's going to be on your YouTube, if you ever have a guest on in your room in the garage, where you have everyone. How's the angle of the camera is going to be, where it shows everyone on the YouTube channel?
Yeah, and that's the thing that I've been focusing on, and how I can utilize our space and utilize other areas to use it as backgrounds, and what camera angles we should use. And yeah, I'm like a mad scientist in here sometimes. I'm like fucking putting cameras everywhere. I'm like, I think I can fucking hang a camera up here. I can put it on the fan, or I can put it on here. Like, I'm fucking old trimming out sometimes. Yeah, I could put a fucking crotch cam. Like, there's gonna be a crotch cam for everybody.
There you go.
and that's the thing about Chris, because when Chris, he's always wants to be ahead of the game. I remember when he did a podcast with Flashback of the Homies, we talk about, hey, you should get this, you should get that, and with Ernesto Grumpzilla, when he started doing the Flashback of the Homies, hey, I had to get this angle, I had to get this camera or this computer, and just try to make everything how to be a good podcast. That's how Chris is. He wants to make his podcast good and try to brand the YouTube channel to make it, good with the certain angles where you can get everyone talking at the same time. You can put on YouTube, you can put on audio and all that stuff. So what I see from Chris, dude, he's like ahead of the game right now.
Oh man, no doubt. Yeah, perfectionist, bro. I can tell, man.
Oh yeah, you could tell. I kind of freaked out before the fucking show started. I was like, I don't want to use this camera. I was like, fuck, it looks disgusting.
Well,
no. I get it because I know you and I were very perfectionists, but the camera, how you have, and the angle of, dude, and it's perfect.
Yeah,
but
bro.
Yeah, I'm excited to do it, and it was kind of more of like after I did your episode and after you showed me StreamYard, I was just like, you know what, like I've been procrastinating way too long for this. Like this needs to happen now. Like fuck it. Yeah. So I gave myself a date, and that's why I made the video, like a video promoting like, hey, this is when we're coming out with this YouTube page.
That was nice.
Just so I could put a date on it and be like, you know what, Chris, now you got to honor it. Like that's it. It's out there.
For sure, bro. And you're gonna do StreamYard.
Yeah. So for the hot corner with Joseph, I'm using StreamYard, and then with the kickback, I'm most likely just gonna use cameras and then add them in post edit or whatever like that.
Yeah.
That's cool, and then man. For the other show, I'll probably just use StreamYard too.
Hey, I have a question. What do you think about Joe Rogan's new podcast, Room? What do you think about that?
I've only briefly glanced at it, bro.
I know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like it. I like the original version.
Really?
I don't like that space like room, or I looked at it. I know the first episode was Adam Curry. He was the godfather of the podcast. He was actually the one who started the whole podcast on what we're doing right now. But
the MTV guy?
Yes, he was the one who started the whole. He's the one who started the whole podcast. What we're doing right now.
Wow. When was that? What, like 2005?
No, that was in the early 90s.
Yeah, earlier than that. Yeah,
early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
You didn't know about that, Andy?
No, I saw he was the guest, but I didn't know Adam Curry was like,
he's the godfather
like a pioneer.
Of podcast, yeah.
He's the godfather of podcasts. He is the one who started the whole podcast where everything back in the 90s, no one knew what podcast was. And if you know the whole story, Adam Curry was the original one. Then with this whole technical stuff and everything, Tom Green from the Tom Green Show was on MTV. He had his format, how he wanted the podcast to be, but he had the system, what Jamie does on Jamie Varner, what he does behind the scenes on the Joe Rogan's podcast. So there's godfathers in certain podcasts like Adam Curry, Tom Green, and all that stuff. But like I said, Adam Green was the godfather of podcasts.
Oh wow! I was thinking of remember Kurt Loder and who was the other guy? There was another guy from MTV.
No. I know what you're talking about, Andy, but Andy was Adam Curry was.
Oh no! I'm just saying, just got they're reporters they had.
Yeah.
Kurt Loder.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy? There was one more curly hair, kind of shit from back in the day, MTV, man.
There was the girl with the reddish hair.
Oh yeah, Tabitha Soren.
Oh, I used to jack off to her.
You did? Oh shit!
She was so hot because when that was on the news, dude.
Remember? Diversity just said Kennedy.
I one time I met up with Kennedy one time. That was like 5 years ago. If I can find the picture, I can. But we took a picture and talked to her for like 5 minutes because she was at the time. I think she was with her boyfriend or her husband, but super nice lady.
No, really, yeah.
Super
who was hot? You know who I thought was super hot, man? Downtown Julie Brown, bro.
Don't forget about Cindy Flores.
Daisy Fuentes?
Yeah. Oh my. Damn.
Cindy Flores. Oh no, bro. She was hot too, man. There's some hot chicks, man.
Cindy Flores, that she had the thick body, she had big chichi. She was thick, like
oh man.
Oh. Downtown Julie Brown, she was fucking hot. She was sexy as fuck.
She had that show, Club. Was it Club MTV?
Yeah, remember that show back in the MTV with Eric from The Real World called The Grind?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Comes up at 7:30 in the morning, and I would be dancing before I go to school because I was like, "Oh shit, that was awesome, dude."
Oh man, yeah, that was and the chicks in bikinis dancing and what about Caliente? Remember Caliente?
Yeah.
Oh, oh my god! Remember that? What was that show called? The Bump and Grind.
Oh, the grind.
The Grind, where they used to have all these people dancing and whatever, and videotape and everything. It was
Yeah.
I remember when they had the Daytona and the beach parties and whatever. I remember they had like Rum DMC, MC Hammer, Eric, and Will Smith as the commentators. It's like those were the fucking days. Hey, remember that show called Liquid Channels where we used to have Beavis and Butthead?
Beavis and Butthead, bro.
Liquid Channel.
God.
Liquid Channel.
Liquid Channel?
Liquid?
Yeah, on MTV. Look that up on MTV. But that
sounds familiar.
That's where they started the Beavis and Butthead.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Man.
So you know, like when they had the Simpsons with Tracy Ullman's show, that's how it was with Beavis and Butthead with the Liquid Channel on MTV.
No, yeah, I got it. Yeah, you could look. Can you look that up on YouTube?
I think you could look it up as like Liquid Channel on MTV, and they had all these shows. I was like, wow, good stuff.
Oh man, the '90s, man. We could sit here all night talking about shows from the '80s, '90s. You know, shit, man. You know, and Living Color and.
Oh my god! Remember House of Buggin'? We remember having a fucking beeper when your lady would call you 911.
Yeah. 911. Or 411. What's going on?
I know.
Everybody had a code.
I know. Fucking Chris is all crying like, I don't know this shit.
Oh yeah. You know what? I think back now, Mega Man, like, what the hell? Why did I have a freaking beeper, bro? Like, I was 16 years old. What the I had no business with a beeper. What the fuck? Just trying to be cool and shit.
I know, you want to have a beeper at the same time. You want trying to find a telephone booth, but now that you have a cell phone that has like page and text and all that, you have everything into one phone. But at the time, if you had a beeper, you were the shit. You were special. Be like, oh my god, let me go text this girl. Let me go call this someone on my payphone.
Yeah,
like that was a shit back then.
Yep. Yeah, and I remember regretting because I had a girlfriend back then, my high school girlfriend, man. Like, fuck, I remember regretting, like, damn, man, now she can get a hold of me at any time. You know, now if I don't respond, if I don't call her back right away, she's gonna give me shit.
That was just the beginning.
Oh yeah, right.
Yes, yeah. There were times like that. There was times where girls who would text you like and they'll send DMs with like, "Hey, 911S."
Yeah,
911S is like we're saying 911, but like the S was like, "Hey, I want to fuck you."
A booty call, yeah.
Yeah, booty call.
Damn, man, you got all these codes and shit.
Yeah. So like back in NorCal when I was living in NorCal, when you have girls that say 911S, that's to say it's emergency. I want to get fucked right now.
I want to get fucked.
Yeah. So
I want to suck cock right now. Yeah.
So they would say what? So they would page me and say 911S, and they would send a number, and I would call like, "Hey, how'd you get this number?" It's like, "Hey, so and so said you're a good fuck. Hey, come over here right now. I want to fuck you." So that's how it was.
Christ.
That's how it was. So if you fucked a girl and she bragged about it,
she referred friends, you to other.
She would recommend you to like, "Hey, you know what? Hey, if this guy fucked me good, hey, you should fuck him. It's almost like a good recommendation."
Oh my god. Yeah, hey, you know what just came to mind, Mega Man, and this is kind of in the Long Beach area, bro. You remember the Spur Posse?
Damn, I don't know about that. No.
So apparently, this was like, I want to say early '90s. Anybody in the comments, in the audience, you guys remember the Spur? They were in Lakewood, bro. I want to say Lakewood, and they had this big. There was this big bunch of guys, group of friends that they called themselves a Spur Posse because they would wear the San Antonio Spurs hats.
Oh shit!
And they would compete. They would have this competition as who could have the most the sex with the most women. Wow. And they were teenagers, bro. You know.
Damn.
So the news caught wind of it, bro, and then gave them they reported it on the news. But what? I'm just curious because you were down in that area, Long Beach, and the Spur Posse. I remember. I wonder if anybody else remembers that in the comments. But yeah, bro. And there was like back then it was like fucking, how it was forbidden, like it was different times. These fucking high school kids, having sex, and that's ridiculous, with all these women, promiscuity, and anyways, they had their little 15 minutes of fame, and so yeah, they were down. I think it was Lakewood, bro, down there.
Oh, Lakewood. I went to Lakewood High. They had a bunch of fucking sluts over there. They didn't open their legs.
No shit.
Like nasty girls. When I was a sophomore in my dad's house, I remember my dad was working like till 12 a.m. and so was my stepmom. And there was a girl who wanted to come over. It's like, hey, at the time, say Steven, we should study. It's like, yeah, go ahead. But at the time, I think she was horny.
Study my ass.
Study my ass. And for all of a sudden, like, we started.
We were doing anatomy.
Yeah, we're
physical education.
We started making out and everything in school, and it got to the point she grabbed my dick, I grabbed her coochie, and I pulled her pants down. She pulled my pants down. We started fucking, but for some kind of reason,
the Mega Man was born.
Yeah, for some kind of situation, her pussy fucking stank my whole house, and my dad was like, I remember after I kicked her out of my house because of her pussy stink, my dad was like, what is that smell? It's like,
poor girl. Poor girl.
There's
no the sex in the air.
There's no air freshener. There's no anything that can tame the.
There was no Febreze back then.
No one can tame that fucking coochie smell taste. It was stinky.
You get your dad in trouble. Fucking
it was stinky. It was to the point I was fucking her at the same time. I don't know what, but I was like this, covering my mouth as I was fucking her because the stench was very horrendous. It's like to the point, did you take a shower? Did you scrub your pussy? It's like to the point, like even my dick was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like I might have to get down. I might have to get my dick down.
Oh my gosh, man. I can honestly say, I've never had that experience. I've never been with a chick where it was, the whole house.
I don't know what. Yeah, I've never had that either.
Shut up, Chris. Come on. You never had that before?
Honestly,
stinky pussy now. A
stinky pussy where like it just like fucked up your whole room. Like get the fuck out of here.
No, sir.
I was telling Andy before I had you on, before we got on, Chris. I was like, telling Andy, are you like the guy from the movie Step Brothers? You smell like the mayonnaise and the ketchup together and be like, I don't like it.
Oh yeah. Oh man, dude, that's some.
If I even think that she has this thing, I'm not gonna do it. Like,
what if she takes a shower before that? What if you smell something and say, okay, go take a shower, come back? Would you do that? Would you consider then?
Yes.
I had a girl. I had a girl where I told her to take a shower and scrub her coochie and everything at the same time. When she came out, when I was fucking her, it's still stinky. That means you have a yeast infection.
Yeah, no thanks. No thank you. I would not. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it stinks that bad, then there's something going on down there.
God damn.
Yeah. My dick should not be in that area.
Exactly.
That's hilarious, man.
No,
that reminds me of another scene. Remember Boys in the Hood where he's telling that story? He's telling his dad about how he hooked up with that chick and he boned that chick. And he's like, yeah, then I was at her house and her grandma must have smelled the sex in the air or something like that, And she comes upstairs, with a knife. Anyways, but holy shit.
I hooked up with a black girl and she stuck up my house for fucking 3 weeks.
Oh
See, Mega
shit!
Man, I don't know what kind of girls you attract, but that's the craziness.
Dude, she was telling me figure her asshole with like, okay, I'll do it with one. No, so she was telling me do it three. So I put 3 fingers in her asshole and I was fingering her like, what the fuck? And when I took it out, I had chunks of shit on my finger. You know, like what the fuck? And she was like, what the? Why would you fucking want me to tell me? Why would you tell me to finger you in your asshole when I put 3 fingers in your asshole? And at the same time, when I did that, I took a big chunk of caca on my fucking dick, and I was looking at it, and it smelled like shit.
Oh,
It reeked up my car. It reeked up my fucking house and everything. My sons were like, "What the? Who the fuck farted in here?" And I had to air out the windows. I had to throw away the futons. I had to mop. I had with the Fabuloso. I had to put air fresheners and everything. It like I said, it took about 2 weeks to get the air out.
Gosh damn, man.
That is insane.
Somehow our conversation keeps coming back to ass, stinky ass and stinky. Oh man, that's a hot topic of discussion here, bro.
I think you broke the record for Profile Pod Ask Topics.
Nah.
I think so.
Hey, so someone said on the comment, "Hey, when are you gonna talk about Budoka Duda?"
Oh shit!
All right, so what's up to you, man?
Would you want to start it?
So okay, so I'm pretty sure the people who have seen your post, what was it, last night or yesterday about?
It was on, yeah.
Last night about Pura Cultura, who's a podcast out in Minnesota, and a big advocate by Mega Man. Mega Man was always supporting them, rocking with them, fucking with them. You know, they've been on my podcast. Mega Man has done their podcast, or you've been on there or something like that. And I guess something happened, which Mega Man will elaborate on. But I guess he checked to see Pura Cultura or something, and it turns out that he was blocked. So, you know, you put out a post saying what the fuck or what happened. So I'm curious to get, and I'm sure other people are curious as well, to see what happened from, I want to say just a month ago, where you were just supporting them through and through, reposting their stuff, posting their stuff. Fast forward to now where they blocked you. I don't know why. I haven't talked to them yet, but I'm curious to get your side of the story because myself.
And I was
I love the cheese man.
What? Say again, Chris. What was the last part?
I love the cheese man. So
I love the cheese. Yeah, let me just say that I was honestly I was shocked when I saw that post. I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, but yeah, go ahead, Mega Man.
So let's with me, I did my homework. So let's start from the beginning. I remember when Chicano Shuffle Ramon told me, "Hey, Mega Man, you should hear about this podcast called Buddha Cultura. They're blowing up." And this is like in the early stages of the podcast when they didn't have the followers that they have now. So it's like, who the fuck is Buddha Cultura? And I remember they were DMing like, "Hey, Mega Man." At the time, they were fresh. We were like, "Hey, we just want to let you know, we give you a shout out. We like what you're doing, blah, blah, blah," and all that stuff. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Who the fuck are you? So when I started hearing the Buddha Cultura's podcast, it shed light on a lot of things. Now, the fact that the reason why I am not supportive of Buddha Cultura is because they keep on dropping the N-bombs a lot. And I know with a lot of people like us or white people, Asians and all that stuff, we stereotype of seeing the N-bomb a lot because and all that. But when you say it like a whole bunch of times, it's not cool. So I remember I DM Chris from Kickback Podcast of the well-known people who I told him about of who's listened to the podcast, and they were telling me, so this is the podcast who you support. This is the podcast who you represent. Are you a racist? Are you a pro-Latino and all that stuff like that? and I'm not about that. I just want to shed light on a lot of things of what's going on in the Latino community, but at the same time, I'm more very diverse where I want to interview white people, black people, Latinos, Asians, gays, and lesbians, all sorts above. So there was a time where I was trying to bail out Buddha Duda because I was getting a lot of shit from a lot of the followers, listeners, fans, guests because are you Mega Man? Are you a racist? So you don't support Black Lives Matter, you don't support this or whatsoever. And said, no, I love you guys because I live in Long Beach. We're very diverse. So a lot of the stuff that Buddha Doodle was saying, because it was very brainwashed, because they were saying the N bombs, but at the same time, they were, how do we say the word, brainwashing our minds to hate black people, because they could say to themselves, hey, I was never like this, I was never racist, I know you're talking about Mega Man, but they were hating, they were making us hate black people because of what was going on with the street vendors and everything. And at the same time, they would change their minds to say, hey, we support Black Lives Matter, which is very hypocritical. So I know the fact that they're very pro-Latino, but when you have sensitive subjects about Black Lives Matters or whatsoever, wouldn't it be better for you to have to have well-known black guests to come on to this podcast to talk about Black Lives Matter instead of having a pro-Latino base and everything? And that's one of the reasons why I had to part ways, because knowing the fact that I live in Long Beach, California, and we're very diverse, and there's a lot of well-known people who do not fuck with Buddha Duda, and I got a lot of shit for supporting them. I had to part ways because some of the stuff that they were saying, which is kind of good, but at the same time, it was kind of brainwashing my mind to be racist against black people, you know? So that's one of the reasons why I had to part ways. And for them to block me is very childish, because I text them like, how come we can't talk about it? How come we can't be about it? But I guess in a way, they're very insecure. They care about their image. And if they're really man enough, both the Messi twins from Minnesota, hey, at least in a way, call me, talk about it, and deal with it. But at the same time, I think in a way with them, they need to stay in their lanes because they're from Minnesota. And what they do is they have people tagging them, oh, what's going on with the LA scene or whatsoever. Buddha Duda, why don't you do me a favor from the Mega Man's podcast and everyone else? Come to fucking West Coast and see what's going on in the Los Angeles area, West Coast, Long Beach, of what's going on. Instead of talking about it, why don't you show action and be about it?
Well, so when you say that they were saying the N word, is that on their show or off the air?
Yeah,
or?
no, they're saying on the show like how you say the word like, oh, N word please, N word please. You know, like this a lot of that stuff where why do you have to say that for? You know, and me living in Long Beach, like we have to respect each other. It's like saying, for example, Andy, oh, wetback please, oh, Andy, wetback please. It's like you can't be saying shit like that. Because at the same time, you're saying that stuff. At the same time, you're supporting Black Lives Matter. What the fuck?
I hear you.
And I know that they have kids. It's like, hey, we have to teach our kids to be more examples. So at the same time, you're saying all that shit. Are you teaching your kid to say the N-word more so you can keep that stereotype to live on forever? Because that's very disrespectful, because I know we're living in sensitive times, Andy and Chris, but we should not be saying the N-word that much, you know, and everything. That's like the same time if someone said to Chris, hey, wetback please. Andy, hey, oh shit, wetback please. It's like, come on, really? That's one of the reasons why I don't fuck with them anymore, because I was a huge supporter of the Buddha Cultura podcast, but I don't give a fuck if they put me on blast on their podcast, Latino Happy Hour, Chicano Shuffle, Alpha Robles. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna keep it real. But there's one thing I notice is like, why the fuck would you block me and not talk about it? Because you have my fucking number, and I text you, hey, let's talk about it. That's one thing about the Latino podcast community. They are willing to block you instead of socializing and get to know you and talk about it and be how it is. That's sad.
So it's interesting, and I smirk and chuckle or whatever, just because they're like I said, I haven't talked to them about it yet. I'm sure I'm gonna reach out to them pretty soon, and because as you know, I have a great relationship with them. You had a great relationship with them, so I'm not to defend them, but there are some people or some Latinos who feel like they also have the right to use the N-word because for some reason, I don't know if back in the day they referred to N-words as you're dark skin, you're an N-word.
Yes.
Just because. So there are some Latinos out there who think that they do have the right to use that word, just like Black people have the right to use that word, and nobody else.
Exactly.
So I would assume that they're in that ballpark, that they're in that mindset of like, hey, we should be allowed to use it as well. I personally, I'm not gonna fucking pretend like I'm a saint here, and I've never said it in my entire life. Fuck yeah, I've said it. And do I use it, in a negative way or derogatory way? No, but you've never heard me say it. I've said it just off air, jokingly, but I guarantee you that the way they use it, I'm sure it's not in a negative way, and I'm sure that they're not, they're not, trying to bash, Black Lives Matter, but I feel like a conversation like you mentioned is needed to say, definitely. Do you guys feel like you have the right to use that word? If so, why do you think you like? It's an interesting topic, and that's a great conversation to have, and a great fucking podcast to have. Which is like, hey, are Latinos allowed to use that word?
For us Long Beach people, for me, live in Long Beach, we can't say that word because we're very respectful for all races that live in the city of Long Beach. If it comes to Asians, whites, blacks, Mexicans, any kind of ethnicity, lesbians and blacks or gays, we have to respect each other, but we can't say that term because if we keep on saying that term, then our kids are going to say that term when they live on, when we're not here on Earth. Because it's at the same time, how would you feel if someone's calling you a bicep or a wetbag, instead of that N-word, that wouldn't be cool.
Yeah, and I could see that, and I feel like a lot of it is context. A lot of it is you need more to the story where it's like, they do use that word, and like I said, it's probably not in a hateful way. Like they're not, bashing them or anything, but it's just mind-boggling to me, like how, I don't know what conversations you had with them in the leading up to this. I don't know, Chris, if you guys got in an argument or an altercation about what this was going to happen. Like, so I don't know the full story to give my full opinion on it.
No, the reason why is that I don't want to be considered as a pro-Latino. I'm very diverse. But when you have a lot of well-known people who you and I, Chris, that we fuck with, if it's black people or any kind of race, they're going to look at that like, hey, what the fuck is going on? Why you support that pura cultura? They're very pro-Latino. They care about one kind. And I want to say this, pura cultura, have you, when you talk about Black Lives Matter, have you had black guests on your podcast? White guests, Asian guests, gays, lesbians? No. they only focus on Latino podcasts, Latino guesses, or Latino podcasts, or whatsoever. But when you talk about very sensitive matters of what goes on in the Black Lives Matter, at least in a way, have a black guest on your podcast to shed light of what's really going down. You know?
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense just because I
Yeah.
understand that they're a super pro Latino podcast. They've been talking about everything that's been going on with the street vendors getting beat up and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, it is a good idea to have a black guest on just to kind of break that ice and talk about and kind of meet in the middle and talk about what's going on. But at the same time, they're kind of playing. They're playing to their market, and I get it. They're pro Latino, so they're going to have a lot of Latino people on. Was there any conversations that you had before they blocked you about, like, did you bring up, the people that were, letting you know, like, hey, you support them? Did you bring that up to them, or?
I guess in a way, with some of the things like it's kind of childish. Like, there's one thing about Buddha Cultura. They feel like, to me, they're very sensitive of what you talk about. They don't like to be corrected, but at the same time, when you say to him, "Hey, everyone, we want your feedback of what you think about Buddha Cultura's episode," and this, it's like a lot of people are going to talk about, "Hey, you should do this, you should do that." I guess in a way, everything started when I called them out and said, "Hey, I heard an episode of your episode of Buddha Cultura's episode, and you said 'bro' 466 times on one episode. You said the word 'bro' 466 times. You said the word 'bro.'"
Wait, you counted?
Yes, I did.
Did you do tally marks, or did you have a clicker? Or?
Because the reason why, Chris, I was high as fuck one time is like, you know what? They kept on saying bro.
When you're high, you focus on one thing too, yeah.
Yeah, so one of the episode, I was like high as fuck, and I had a clipboard like this, and I was counting and check bar, bro. When I counted everything, I did it live on the Buddha Cultura podcast, and I told them, "Hey, you said bro this many times," and they got butthurt for saying that shit. But that's a typical Latino Mexican thing. You keep on saying bro. And the reason why I corrected them, because I wanted for them to stop saying that shit. Because what happens if their podcast gets big and they get looked at from Dash Radio or well-known podcasts, and they're going to correct them, say, "Hey, I like your podcast, but can you not say the word bro because you said it so many times? Can you be more professional?" So I was trying to help them out, but they took it the wrong way.
Oh man. What about, so at this point in time, Mega Man, like Chris kind of alluded to already, there's maybe a conversation could be had. Are you open to having a conversation, maybe to just kind of clear the air going forward?
I did. I DM'd them and they blocked me, and I texted them and then they didn't respond. So for them,
you tried.
Yeah. So with them being childish to not respond or block me is very childish, because I feel like, to me, they care about their image more. So when I see that people block me like that, they do not want to focus on difficult people. They don't want to, like, you know what, he's too difficult, I don't want to deal with it, I'll just fucking block him. They have my number. Lazy and Smiley have my fucking number, but they haven't called me. I mean, if they're really mad enough, they would have been like, "Hey, Mega Man, let's sit down and talk about what we did wrong or whatsoever." But knowing the fact, like, there's podcasters that care about their image more, it just tells me the most is, like, you don't care about your fans, you don't care about your podcasters who correct you. They just want to keep on living on, and they're going to focus more on the new people. So I know about Buddha Cultura, and I noticed that there's one thing I want to shed light, and I'm going to expose them for what they are. Buddha Cultura were cool in the beginning, but when they got very big egos because of what's been going on because of Bulicatura's podcast. At the same time, at the Latino happy hours of what they're doing is because if you don't fuck with us and you're not with us because maybe in a way because I'm Hispanic and I don't know how to speak Spanish and I'm not from Mexico and I'm not undocumented. I don't fit in that group, which in a way because since Mega Man doesn't know how to speak Spanish, I don't fit in their category. So I get that. That's one. At the same time, number two, I seen that Burukutura at the same time when they have over 700 followers that they're following, and 2 weeks after they have over 5,000 followers. What they're doing is that they're unfollowing a whole bunch of people that don't rock with Burukutura, and what they're trying to do is they're unfollowing a whole bunch of fucking people, and what they're doing is they're following a whole bunch of people so to get new followers and new guests or whatsoever, so they can reach over 10Ks or whatsoever. So those to me are those are not true followers. They're just trying to do it for the grams. They're trying to do it for the likes. They're trying to do it for like how many people you follow and whatsoever. I think in a way with the Puricatura's podcast, they need to really watch what they say on their podcast because they're based out of Minnesota. I think in a way with them, they need to stay in their lanes of what they talk about. They should be fucking with what's going on the West Coast because what they're doing is people are tagging them, people are reposting of what's going on in all over the United States, and all they're doing is what they're talking about. Puricatura, instead of you being in Minnesota, why don't you fucking fly to the West Coast and see what's going on in Long Beach and Whittier and Los Angeles? What's really going on in California or over to other states to see what's going on? So I don't respect them because I'll get credit when credit's due. Shout outs to Ranting Romo's podcast because he wants to get to the source. He wants to know what's really going on. And that's the same thing maybe with me or maybe with Chris. We're from Long Beach. He's from Whittier, and we know what's going on in the LA area. But with them, they're going to talk about what they want to say on their podcast because people tag them or whatsoever. But you know what? Why don't you come over here, save your lane, or what's going on in Minnesota? Come fly over here to LA and see what's really going on the West Coast instead of you bashing on us or instead of you getting tagged in this or whatsoever of what's really going on the West Coast, you know?
So I want to ask you this, and I feel like I've known you long enough to ask at least the harder question or the tougher question, and that is
exactly.
And don't take it the wrong way,
no.
But this isn't the first time that you've had a problem with a podcast. Rambling Alcoholics wasn't the first either. You've had other problems before with other people or other, maybe not a podcast, but a certain person that has a big following. How do you feel like when you have all these, not all of them, that's not like a lot, but you have these issues with podcasts or have an issue with, certain people, like do you find it frustrating? Do you feel like in a way some people might start to think that it might be Mega Man who has the problem and it's not the other pod? Like, how do you go about that? Because let's say a few, maybe months down the line and you have an altercation with another podcast and now people are going to start to think, and I know you talk about image and not to word and Purico just trying to worry about that, and that's what you're saying. But do you worry that with the constant, maybe incidences or problems that you're having with other followings or other followers, do you feel like there's going to come a time where people start to think like, hey, it's Mega Man that has the problem and not these other people?
No, I know what you're getting at. It's just that people do not make the time to get to know each other. That's the main thing. If you're a podcaster, Chris and Andy and me, we need to make the time to get to know each other and who we're all about. There's other podcasters that do not make the time and effort to get to know who we are, what we talk about, and how we see things in the future. they do not want to talk about. And that's the thing that is a problem in the Latino podcast community. We need to make an effort to spend time to get to know each other. Like if I'm getting to know who is Andy all about, who is Chris all about. You know, we have to do whatever we can, but some podcasters in the Latino community, they don't want to make the time and effort to get to know you. So that's one of the reasons why they're going to block you. They're going to talk shit about you and all that. So I think in a way with them, you know, with Pura Cultura, how they blocked me, why would you do that for? At the same time, you have Bacon Man's number. Or at least in a way, call me like, hey man, let's work things out. Let's communicate. Let's shed light. Let's squash the beef or whatever. But you know what? That's one thing about the Latino podcast, crabs in a bucket. If one podcast is doing good, we have to bring him down. There can be no peace and there can be no unity when it comes to the Latino podcast because there's too much egos involved. Too many egos, which I fucking hate.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, Mega Man. But you know, because from what I've observed, you're you know you have a good solid podcast. You're big, good following, and then you have Pura Cultura. You know, they're also they have numbers, you know, and they have a following.
But
And,
Andy, I want to tell you like this: I don't give a fuck about Pura Cultura's numbers or who they follow. You know, they're from Minnesota, but do they care about what's going on in the West Coast, like how we are? That you live in Simi Valley, you know, Chris is from Whittier, I'm from Long Beach. Are they going to fly over here to see what's going on with the situation, what's going on in California? No, they don't. They're gonna fucking clickbait. They're gonna get tagged. They're gonna talk about it. Are they really making the effort to come fly over here and shed light of what's really going on the West Coast? No, they don't. So they need to stay in the lane. They need to focus on the East Coast. They need to focus on what that and how we are. You, me, Chris. We're gonna focus on the West Coast. Fuck them. They need to worry about what they're going on over there in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and all that stuff.
Yeah, you know, I hear you, Mega Man. But you know, but my point I was trying to make is, you know, you have two solid podcasts, you know, Latino podcasts or whatever, just podcasts. Take the Latino out of it.
Yeah,
you know, I think the podcast community is better, you know, with two podcasts like you two. You know, collaborating or being on good terms, I think, you know, but as opposed to the other thing, you know, where you guys are not getting along or not collaborating, not even, you know, on good terms, on positive terms. That's where I'm coming from. You know, I'm just trying to, I think the podcast community, bottom line is the podcast community can only be better, man. You know,
the only reason
with you guys.
The only reason why I unfollow them because they're making, good point. Yeah, Andy. Yeah, good point. The reason why I'm not supported because they're making me feel like I should be racist against black people.
Yeah.
So
go ahead, Chris.
I'm curious also because when and Andy, this kind of popped up when Andy brought this up, like for a podcast community to grow and to get better as not just the one person, but as a whole, you know, we all got to support each other. So
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Are you worried now that there are going to be some podcasts out there who decide to choose sides and say, you know what, I support Pura Cultura and not Mega Man anymore, so I choose Pura Cultura side just based off, you know, whether they like them more, whether they think they are going to get them more followers, or whether they think they're going to get more listeners from them. So are you worried that eventually, because it's the oldest thing, you know, don't burn your bridges. Do you feel like this might affect potential guests in the future? You know, just off the top of my head, just, you know, thinking about the guys that they, you know, are fucking around with and the guys that, they're doing podcasts with, do you think like those relationships could possibly end as well now? Like, what are those thoughts that might be going through your head? Or I don't know if you've thought about that at all.
Good. That's a very good question,
Yeah.
Andy.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people. I know Andy was like, "What the fuck? What do I talk about?" But I'll speak for you, Andy.
I'm asking you, Mega Man. Do you think? I'm not asking. Andy has no problem with pura cultura.
I mean, everyone's gonna have their say. You're gonna have a lot of West Coast that support pura cultura, but at the same time, who you can support? Someone from the East Coast who doesn't know about the West Coast and doesn't know what's going on in California and the LA scene, or you're going to support someone who's from the East Coast and as a mothership and talking about what they see on Instagram and all that. That's the thing, they're not the ones who are flying over here. They don't know what's going on in California. They do not know what's going on in the LA scene, and that stuff like that. So it really depends, and I really don't give a fuck if they have the most followers or they have this or they speak to mine. But there's one thing about me. I'm here to inform. And I'm here to entertain. But sometimes, in a way, when you block me for some kind of reason, that means in a way you have insecurity issues, but also you care about your image. So So when you do that, that means you have something fucking to hide.
Well, no, Mega Man, you're a passionate guy, man. You speak from the heart. You're real. You're not. There's no bullshit with you, man. Mm-hmm. Like remember on Alex Sosa tells Tony Montana, there's no lying in you. You speak from the heart.
You have to, because with me, I'd rather be honest with you. I don't have a mask on. My mask is off. My mask has always been off, and I have to be real with Chris and I have to be real with Andy. And that's the thing what I do, because I know there's a lot of podcasters. They're going to inform you and there's going to be people who are going to entertain you. But to me, I'd rather be honest with you, and what you see is what you get.
Yeah. Straight up. Yeah. However, if that's going to entertain, if that's going to inform, it's probably going to overlap both. But the bottom line is, like you said, what you see is what you get. You're not gonna BS around.
But yeah, but it's in this whole situation. It sucks that a good relationship like that is coming to an end. Hopefully,
yeah,
not for long. Hopefully, you guys do figure your shit out and end up being cool again. But there's times where like some people just can't relate. Like Mega Man mentioned, there's sometimes people don't just mesh with you well. And I've had numerous conversations with Mega Man where it's like I can understand why someone might come off as like, let's say Mega Man's telling me like, hey, your audio was off on this podcast. It sounded kind of bad on this point. Thanks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. It sounded bad, but thanks for letting me know. And for some other people, that might be like, who the fuck is this guy to tell me that my audio's off? So I can understand where there's some people who see it as, hey, this guy is insulting my podcast, or this guy is insulting me personally, where Mega Man's not really coming off that way. He's coming off in the sense as, hey, just to give you a heads up, this is what I saw, and this is what I would fix if I was you.
Yeah.
Some people are like that because they're so super sensitive, but you're trying to help them out. You're trying to make them better. But when they have a bigger podcast, like, I don't need your advice or whatsoever, it's like, okay, fine, whatever. But at least in a way, I'm just trying to help you out to make your podcast better. But when you have ego involved or this or any kind of topics or whatever, they take it the wrong way and they think that I'm bashing on them. But at the same time, I'm just trying to help them out,
You're coming from a good place.
Yeah, like that, that's what I was about. That's what I was gonna say. Is that so like I said, sometimes when Mega Man might say something, someone might take it the wrong way. And I've had that problem before where it's like, hey, I just said this thing and you're the one that's fucking, you're the one who has the issue with it. I just said it. I don't know why you're all butthurt about it. So I can understand, if that was the case, I can understand why Pura Cultura maybe did what they did. Like I said, I don't know the full story. You bet your ass I'm gonna ask them about it though. Or see if maybe we can do something where we could all come together some way somehow and hash it out.
No doubt, no
because like I said, or like Andy said, it's it's better to have both of you guys on the same side than against each other.
Yeah,
because that's when it trickles down, and then you have people choosing sides, and then that's when it just all hell fucking breaks loose.
Yeah, like how Chris said, I lost a lot of people on the Mega Man's podcast. I lost a lot of guests because I was supporting Pura Cultura, so I was trying to bail them out, but they don't know that because they're so pro Latino. But I guess like last Saturday, when a lot of well-known people, which Chris, he saw the DMs of who I was talking about, which we will mention in the craft beer community. It shed a lot of light, and you know what? I had to part ways because I don't want to be racist against my own kind. I don't want to be racist against black people or different types of race. So I had to part ways, and my lady was happy that he's like, you know what? I'm kind of happy that you don't support Pura Cultura, but it is what it is. It's like, at the same time, they're from Minnesota, and they're just talking about reruns of like people who tagged them or shed light on stories, but they're not in the front lines of what's going on in the LA scenes or whatsoever, So
well, I feel like one can make an argument that there's shit going on in the East Coast with Latinos as well.
exactly.
And they do represent Latinos, not just just the Mexican group. So I can like I said, I want to get their side. I want to hear what they have to say, or if they want to say anything at all. They don't have to say anything. Like I can reach out to them and ask them, hey, what happened? They don't have to reply to me. They don't have to entertain the idea. They could just be like, you know what, we don't fuck with Mega Man anymore, and that's it. And for me personally, that's fine with me.
That's cool.
But yeah, because if that's how they feel, then that's fine.
That's cool, and I get that. But at the same time, that how you are, Chris, and how Andy is, and how Mega Man is like, if you have a podcast and you're over there on the East Coast, get your story straight and get your facts straight. If you're going to go talk about what's going on on the West Coast, if you don't have your story straight, then don't fuck with us. Because if not, we're gonna call you out on your fucking bullshit. Because I feel like, to me, I have to represent West Coast. I have to represent whatever we do on the podcast scene in Los Angeles or whatsoever. Because with Chris, you, Andy, and me, we have to represent what's going on in the West Coast of what's going on in the LA scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I hear you, Mega Man. Maybe Chris can broker something here.
Yeah.
Between you guys, or, but yeah, I mean, shit. It's interesting, man. Interesting. I was shocked. Honestly, I was shocked. I was like, holy shit, is this some kind of joke? Or when I saw the post, but
I to be honest, like, I wasn't surprised that they blocked me. I saw this thing coming like months away. It was just a matter of time. I feel like, to me, everything started because I called them out and said, hey, you know what, Pura Cultura, you say bro 400 times on your episode. And I think in the way they got butthurt, and I think that's where everything changed, because I wasn't calling them out on the bullshit. I was correcting them, but it really depends how you take it with that correction.
Yeah, and I agree 100%.
Yeah. It's like if, let's say, for example, if Chris was doing something wrong, I'm going to correct him. As Chris, or Andy, hearing the Mega Man's podcast, is like, hey, Mega Man, I don't like what you're doing. You should change this or whatsoever. Or the same thing with Chris. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to reflect on it and be like, you know what? Andy and Chris are right. You know what? I'm going to change that. But at the same time, I'm not going to get butthurt. But I have to correct it because I want to better my podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Some other podcasts, they don't like that. They feel like they're very sensitive. They feel like we're picking the bone with them, but we're trying to help them out, but they don't see how we see it things as, you know?
Oh, yeah, I agree. And I was going to ask Andy, like, have there ever been any situations, whether it be in your past, like acting or anything like that, where have you been in situations where maybe someone took something the wrong way, or maybe you've been in a situation where you've had a good relationship with, whether it be a business or a partner or anything like that, and it kind of just fell and went to shit pretty much?
Yeah, I try to keep the peace, man. And,
Same.
In any area of life, anytime I've had a beef, in the past, I've always tried to at least reach out to the person and try to address it. Hopefully hash it out and get the person's opinion, and just like two people should,
Mm-hmm.
who are having issues, have a one-on-one private conversation and get their side of the story, but sometimes it depends on the severity of the issue, right? Sometimes it's just like one party did something so disrespectful that the other party doesn't care, what they don't want to know what.
I've been in those
ends the relationship.
situations. Yeah, I've been in those situations.
It just abruptly ends the relationship and the friendship or whatever, and that's it, bro. But
yeah, I was gonna ask you as well, just to kind of jump off of this. When it comes to your podcast, like, I know personally for myself, I know I have a goal in mind for the podcast. I know, what I'm trying to do, not in the sense of like, views or listens or, downloads or anything, but what are some of your goals for the Profile Pod?
Oh, definitely, bro.
Things that you have in mind.
Definitely. I aim to inspire, to motivate, definitely bringing people together, to entertain, make people happy, make people laugh, bring people again, because I think through this podcasting experience, I think I found like my calling, man, to be honest with you. I think my calling is people, bro.
Mm-hmm.
People, and I've always been like, okay, what's my calling? But it's people, man. I can get along with anybody, bro. Anybody, any walk of life. It's always come easy to me, just to have a conversation with someone, and get along with, say, hey, what's going to, just to be, not to judge or anything, and just to see the person for who they are, for their heart, But yeah, I think just those are some of the things that some of the goals I have for the podcast, bro, for sure, man.
So what about when you started the podcast, you started with YouTube right away, or was that something you kind of added on?
No.
During.
I started with 90s Galore, the podcast 90s Galore on Anchor. Where we were just profiling 90s musicians, movies, television shows, bands, in various genres, hip hop, rock, the grunge movement, and so R&B,
Mhm.
And then we did movies like Friday, Jurassic Park, all in the 90s, right? All based in the 90s. So yeah. Then the whole YouTube thing was with, it came about later on this year, where I wanted to do something else, something different. So, and it just, this was in my heart, bro. Just to bring, again, it's all about people, bro. Putting people on a pedestal, putting people on a pedestal, man. Learning about what they're doing, their experiences. So
Yeah, and I feel the way you feel about that is the same way that I feel when it comes to like showing and teaching or coaching people up on how to do the podcast thing, because there's no actual real like blueprint, like, hey, this is how you do it, this is how you become successful, this is how you become Joe Rogan. So it's that's why I enjoy having conversations with other podcasters, because I get to pick their brain about how they came about, how they're starting their podcast, or how they decided to do this, or I use this type of equipment, or I use this type of streaming service like StreamYard. So I enjoy like helping people out in that sense, because for me, I get so much joy like seeing people go from one step all the way to the next level. And I think for most people, I feel like for most people, when it comes to podcasting, like they're just so focused on trying to get themselves up and running, that sometimes either they forget to ask for help, or they're too prideful. Like, I always want people to ask for help, or I always want people to reach out. So I would like, because it's just so much fun to be like, oh yeah, like I do this, I get excited about it. Like, oh, do this or do that, or try this out. Like, it's your show, it's your podcast, but especially early on, mess with it. See what works, see what doesn't. Like, that's the beauty of it, where it's like you have the final say on everything.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the thing. Chris said, we have to try to get our name out there. From the podcast scene, to get our numbers, and to get a lot of listeners and whatsoever. So I get that, and that's one of the reasons why, when I had earlier Julio Trejo from Chelas Mondal, he's one of the reasons why he said on a lot of things of what should I do on the Mega Man's podcast to take it to the next level.
Yeah. Were you guys alluding to the question posted by Miss Cass on the comment section about what advice we had for? She called herself a newbie to the podcast community, and I'm a newbie myself, Miss Cass. I'm learning as I go. Just every day, I'm learning something new. Like every day, I'm researching or trying to read up on something. Anything, a little bits and pieces of information. But I think the bottom line is just, I think you just got to be yourself, man. Or you depending on the podcast, depending on what the content is, what your podcast is about, but if I come on here and try to be someone like, some kind of someone who, for example, politics, if I try to be someone who like tries to talk politics, for me, that personally, that's not going to work, because I'm not well versed in that area. I'm not. I'm just, honestly, I keep tabs on stuff, but that's not my forte, bro. So for me, maybe sports would be better, sports or movies or pop culture. Again, people. So again, I think you just got to be. Again, it goes back to finding your niche, man.
But what, Andy, I get it what you're saying, but sometimes in a way we have to take that gamble, because with
right.
me, with like I'm doing the podcast, but there's sometimes in a way there's other podcasters still want to take the gamble of talk about serious things or very political and all that stuff, but you
Yeah.
have to be because you have to have an open mind, and at the same time you have to shed light on what's going on in the United States and all over the world. But that's one of the reasons why, like, to me, you gotta have an open mind of
sure.
what's going on in your city, but also your state, but also the country, but also around the world, but also in the podcast game.
But also in your galaxy.
Yeah.
Yes,
The Milky
exactly,
Way.
Chris.
But if I were to give any advice to anyone that's trying to do a podcast, and I've mentioned it before, and there's a couple things, and I mentioned some of them before. Where it's whenever you have a guest, have someone on that you're truly, truly, truly interested in, because it's going to make it a whole lot easier. It's going to make it easier for you. It's going to make it easier on them. It's going to make it easier for your listeners, because they're going to realize that you're really interested in that person, and they really, really are going to enjoy that conversation because you're into the conversation. The next thing is, make sure, if you're going to do it by yourself, have talking points. Don't go up there going free nilly willy and just saying, I'm gonna wing it, I'm gonna see what happens, and try to fill up time, and then that's when you start babbling on about fucking nonsense. And then if you do it with another person, make sure that you have a good connection with them. And I think we've talked about that already, but make sure you have a good flow with them, you have a good connection, you know each other well before you even start doing the podcast. I know some people like to do, get the ball rolling and do podcasts before they even really have that connection. And it's cool to see or cool to hear, like, as a listener, like, hey man, I remember listening to them and they barely knew each other, and now they're like best friends. Like, that's cool to see too. But make sure that you come well prepared, because
Exactly.
there's so many podcasts out there that say, oh yeah, we just talk about nothing, or we just talk about whatever. And yeah, that's cool, but I've said this in other podcasts, people have been so accustomed to the Joe Rogan format of people thinking, oh, they're just talking, they didn't really, like, structure anything out, they're just having a conversation. Yes, they are. But even Joe Rogan himself talked about, when he noticed that a lot of people were starting to listen, he got his shit together, because he knew at the end of the day, this isn't just a podcast where you're just listening. I am here to entertain you, and I'm here to make whatever you're doing right now as you're listening to this, I am here to make it better. If you're at work and your boss is on your ass, guess what? Put your fucking earbuds on, listen to me, listen to us bullshit, and listen to us talk about whatever, and now you're not worrying about your boss. Or if you're on your way to work and you're for a fucking fact your wife is or your husband's gonna be chewing your ass out when you get home for something stupid you did, guess what? Well, on the way home, you get to listen to us bullshit right before you get that ass chewing. Or, in general, just little things like that. Like, remember that you are here to entertain people. If you're a podcaster, remember that is your sole purpose. That is your job. And that is the reason why you're trying to get listeners and viewers, is because you're trying to entertain them.
Yes,
that's
sir.
Why people realize, like, oh, nobody comes back. Nobody wants to listen to another episode. Maybe because you're not entertaining them.
Exactly. There's people who inform and there's people who entertain. Shouts to Martin Moreno, because that's what he told me. Mega Man, do you want to inform or do you want to entertain? I was like, I want to do both because I want to make the podcast better, and that's how it is. But you know what? Shouts to fucking Chris on Kickback Podcast, because he speaks the real deal, and he keeps it very honest.
Yeah, man. No, it's like you said, Mega Man, inform and entertain, or either one or both. But yeah, that's what it boils down to too, Chris. Like you said, man. You gotta put out content that that people want to come back and see and listen to, man. That's what it boils down to, man.
But real quick before we wrap up, for all those people that have been watching or listening,
oh man, these people are amazing.
Yeah, I was about to say thanks for staying with us for almost 3 hours. We're at 2:45, 2:44.
You guys are awesome, man. Thank you guys, man. That's
shout out to them, and shout out to Andy for letting us do this, and being able to like I told you before, like when the first time we did the podcast, I knew for a fact that it wasn't going to be the last time that we talk or the last conversation that we had.
Hell no.
That was the first of many. This is the second of many.
Yeah.
There's still so much more that we can talk about. And like I said, this is a blast. This has been fun. I'm just surprised, like fucking people almost 3 hours in, and people are still staying in.
I know, man.
I already know with like we're almost at 3 hours. So, hey, you know what? Let's keep this 3 hours going because I want to talk about Phoenix Suns, but because of the girl who sucked all the Phoenix Suns players' dicks at the same time.
Yeah, the some girl came out and said that she sucked all the Phoenix Suns' dicks. Yeah, and I guess what happened was that this girl, she knew one of the people that worked for the Suns. She knew like an equipment manager or something.
Yes.
So what happened was, I guess they walked in on this guy, equipment guy or whatever, fooling around with this girl. And they knew this girl before because they've seen her around. And I guess one dude sacked up and had the balls enough to just say, "Hey, how about you suck all of our dicks?" And this girl was down for the kill. Down. She was up. She was game. So she was knocking him back like Mega Man's knocking back beers.
They get video on that, or
I'm without a doubt, I'm sure there's some type of video out there.
Oh man, but yeah, man, this has been amazing, guys. You guys, I can't put it into words, man. It's been the journey just continues to get better. I'm loving every second of it, and I'm watching you guys, and I'm hopefully getting better and getting more comfortable and confident. And yeah, man, let's just keep it going. I want to thank y'all. Shout out to everybody who's watching in the comment section, watching at home, watching the replay. Miss Cass, Penelope Ray's Boutique, Diverse City, Joey Salinas, everybody, man. Jose Salyard. Thank you guys for being here. Who else? Who's my man that came by? Fainer Lokes, who was here earlier, and Johnny Wiseau. Yeah, so man.
You said diverse,
this
right?
means a lot. Huh?
You said diverse, right?
Diverse
City?
Diverse City. Oh, yeah, of course, man. And that means a lot to me, bro. So shout out to thank you guys so much for being here. Freaking, oh, man.
Dude, I just want to say before we log off, because I know Andy, you've been doing so much, showing so much love on the podcast. I know with Chris from Kickback, dude, you have a lot of good followers and a lot of good hardcore listeners who fuck with your podcast, but also with Chris and also with Mega Man from the Mega Man podcast. And I love it because when you think about it, it's like, okay, they're listening to our podcast at the same time. We're doing audio, but at the same time, we're shedding light of what's going on in the craft beer community.
Definitely, man. No, thank you, Mega Man. I appreciate your support, Chris, man. You guys are, you guys got a big following, man. Each of you, man. And
I don't know about big, but
shut up, Chris. You're just fucking big, dude.
Oh man, I can't hold it anymore.
Oh, you guys are fucking shit.
Shut up, dude. I see your fucking Instagram. Dude, you're fucking getting killers. Your numbers are out there, dude. Come on, Chris.
For sure, man.
Oh man,
No, I appreciate you guys coming on. Just collaborating with me, man. The little guy here. So for me, this means a lot to me, guys. Seriously. So
No,
thank you guys.
to be honest, I don't see you as little. I see you as like a good podcaster. No homo. Hey, I fucked up. So, fucking Chris, shut the fuck up, dude.
I can't take it anymore.
Fucking Chris, shut the fuck up, dude.
I'm gonna play this back.
Fucking Chris.
No doubt, Diver City. No doubt.
No. I see it. You know what, Chris? You talking about fucking? You fucked everything up.
Andy, how do you end the show? Take it easy, man.
Oh yeah, bro.
Oh,
No.
dude, that's hilarious.
Hey, but
Fucking Chris, dude.
Oh shit.
Chris, you talking shit. I'm not speaking. Whatever you talking shit.
I couldn't hold it anymore.
Hey, Mega Man, yeah, man. We know you hardly sleep. You're a hard worker, man. But then it's all good. Hey, but once again, thank you everybody for being here. Chris, thank you for hosting on Profile Pod TV. Thank you for hosting my show, man. Much love. You're always welcome back here, brother. This is your home away from home, of course. And again, all the listeners, all the viewers, thank you guys. What can I say, man? What can I say? So much love to everybody. I'm going to be back on. I'm going to post another episode probably Friday with my man, John Whitaker out of London, England.
Ooh.
Musician.
Hell yeah.
Musician, filmmaker, producer. So look out for that one. I'm going to probably post it on Friday. So we'll do some post promotion on this one. And then, so look out for that one on Profile Pod TV. Once again, guys, subscribe to the channel. Look out for Chris, October 5th, the Kickback Podcast coming to you on YouTube. That's going to be huge. And we know Mega Man's going to continue to do his thing, man. And, so, we'll see you guys soon. Go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say real quick, and I wanted to plug something. This is a quick little plug. And absolutely. I guess you could say it's an exclusive for you because I have yet to mention it.
Oh,
not even on our podcast yet. So about a couple weeks ago, I did an interview with Voyage LA. It's a magazine here in LA, and I guess they wanted to do a piece on me and talk about how I got started with the podcast and all that. So if you Google or search up Voyage LA Chris Gonzalez or Voyage LA Kickback Podcast, you can see see my piece that they did on me. So check that out and see how the whole shit started.
Oh man, I can't wait! And it's out now.
Yeah, it's out now. You can look it up now. I was probably gonna start promoting it tomorrow, but just for you.
Hey man, thank you for the exclusive, bro. You heard it right here first. Profile Pod TV. Look out for Chris Kickback Podcast LA. Voyage LA. Check them out, man. That's huge, Chris. Congratulations on that, man. That's huge.
Fucking Chris, I'm proud of you, Chris. Damn, fucking Chris, dude. Like,
I know, bro.
I guess I have to suck a lot of dicks,
Yeah.
I
appreciate
all right. It. Absolutely, man. That's huge, man. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys once again. We'll see you guys next week or next week on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, Profile Pod TV. Subscribe. Thank you guys so much, man. Much love. And always remember to take it easy.
Ooh.